You know what's the thing though is that no one can actually hear you right now because OBS, so Discord reset all my settings and everything. Same thing happened in OBS, and literally this whole time, all of the audio has not been coming through for you in the slightest. I mean, for me too as well. But yeah, it reset all of a sudden, so everything was just off. Like I wasn't getting any audio for either of us. So I will say it properly. Hello and welcome to Innocent Podcast, episode 13.
Why? Wait.
Good boy, Q.
Why every time I open? Do you realize that? Like the second time we did the opening, not the second time, but the first time when we did when I did the opening. Mm-hmm. Either we didn't. I think because we didn't. It was that one episode we didn't even start the stream. It like you press start and then it didn't start. Mm-hmm. Anyways, without further ado,
yeah,
that's our cue.
That's my cue. I'm stuffing my face with hot sauce. Hello, welcome to the Innocent Podcast, episode 13. We're talking about the anime Romantic Killer. I'm stuffing my face with chili sauce because I'm sick. I've got a flu. Chili sauce. And chili sauce helps. Like hot sauces and stuff like that, they help bring up phlegm and clear up your throat and all that. So I've got chili sauce. I'm having a wrap with chili sauce and I'm having orange juice. And that's supposed to help me get by. I've got a packet of mayo, but I'm going to save this for when I need it. Put it in my drawer. I'll save it for a good occasion.
Your drawers?
Yeah.
Is that a stain or are you happy to see me?
Can't believe it's episode 14. It's not 14, it's 13. Learn your numbers. Yeah, come on, man. 14.
Like, we can't count, man. God damn it. I mean, I can't read, but God.
I know, right? I know.
Typo.
Shameful this spray.
Hello, Miss AR. America. I'm sorry. AR. I just think of assault rifle. I don't watch it. Anyways. Yes, Q. So, sorry for that, guys. Well, I guess everyone in post, it doesn't matter because, you guys, I mean, it matters, but you guys don't know we're a bit late today. We're running late because Q has got the face stuffing flu where he's constantly stuffing his face and, he had to go eat some more. And, he's just generally being a chunky boy,
That's a lie.
If I do say so myself.
The only reason I'm late is because you're a bitch boy and couldn't do one thing that I asked you to do in a split second. And then it took too long, and it took longer than it needed to be. Now, if you weren't a bitch boy, and you did it immediately when I told you to do it, we would have started.
Alright, here we are. Who's the bitch really in this sense? Someone asking for a favor, or there's someone that wants to start the podcast?
Favor? This wasn't a favor. This was a demand, mate.
Demanding. What are you, the fucking pompous motherfucker? Anyways, before we continue, mandatory spoiler warner Warner Brothers. Warner Brother that we're gonna have some spoilers today. Straight up. Because we're gonna be talking about Romantic Killers as Q has said. Yeah. What do you think about this? What do you think about this show? Straight up. Like, what do you think? How did it enter your brain, Q? What made you click on this? What made you suggest this to poor Rare? I mean, to me.
To be honest, this is my kind of anime. But from the get-go, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is cute and nice and I like it. Watching it in its entirety, I would say it's not a good bingeable show. Like, I don't like watching it episode by episode. I think it's better watching it, like taking breaks between the episodes, but watching them in a row didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. The first night when I watched it, I loved watching episode 1 and 2, like one after each other, and I was looking forward to jumping into 3. But I think by the time they introduced Junta, I was like, nah, fuck this shit. They
introduced, right.
I was right there for Tsukasa, but you put Junta in there, and I'm like, why does he need to be here? Like he's just this is muddying up the water.
Well,
like he was never the love interest in my eyes. But go on.
Well, you see, the thing is, it's a dating sim. And in those dating sims, which they clearly show you in the show, because I have never personally played a dating sim, I don't even date in real life.
Exactly.
I'm a virgin, right? So, I ain't looking for any dating. By the way, Q, they're seeing your, they're not seeing the overlay, so they don't know who's talking.
I've got the anime in front of it. Okay, sorry. I've got the anime up.
Yeah. So basically, a dating sim is something. If you, for those, actually, I'm gonna explain for you those you don't know, because this is something that's not really new for me, but something that I knew existed, but I wasn't aware that so many people knew and actually played them, including women as well. I wouldn't say especially women or more women than men. I think.
Wow, look how we said including women. Like if it's like women don't play games and stuff like that.
No, well, the thing is, you would think that like I don't know, as a guy, you would think that women are just nowadays. For me, it's like.
You would think. I don't think I do not associate with Rare and his misogynistic views. People, he's the only one that thinks this way on this podcast. I know women play real video games, and
look,
Rare's a crazy person. You know,
I'm not saying women don't play video games. I'm just saying at the time when these games came out, you know, statistically, I think there were more. Statistically, more men play video games, right? Like literally statistically.
When you said these games, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to games as a whole. And then when those games came out, that was a while ago that these games like obviously started coming out. This was like over like maybe like 20 years ago, you know? I think Game Boy has a dating
you keep
sim
saying
in it as well.
You keep saying these games. What are you referring to when you say these? Is it dating sims? Are you referring to
dating sims? First I was talking about games, not talking about dating sims.
Welcome to the to the podcast, Nalu, by the way.
Hey Nalu, what's up?
Exactly. So you're referring to dating sims, right? And no, he ain't no virgin. We know this. We know this to be true. You know he's a degenerate. That's the best way to the when you look up Rare in the dictionary, degenerate comes up next to it. That's pretty much what comes up. So don't be fooled, people.
I was trying to make my online name be something like
degenerate,
like Dongo Degen or something.
He's such a weird person,
Dingo,
you know.
Like Dingo Degen.
Every time when I think to myself,
you guys have a good.
I think to myself every now and then, like, can he get wetter? And you just prove me right or wrong, or however you prove me. You're just like, yeah, I can get more weird. Yeah, this is possible. But we're gonna do question and answers, and the question is gonna be what?
Oh, we haven't had a question in a while, actually.
Yeah, what should we call Rare?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I like that one. Of course, it's about me, so why wouldn't I like it? You know.
Yeah, so the question is up there, guys. You guys can fill in your answers and say what you want to call him. Weenus face, you know, wanky poo.
Yeah, I need a good online name that you guys would think it's fitting. I was thinking of something like smoothie or smooth D, but like have it been said so fast that it sounds like one word, so like smoothie. But obviously, any form of that is pretty much taken. I'm okay with Rare, but I feel like the numbers thing kind of just doesn't rub the right way. It hasn't aged well, in my opinion.
Yeah, made it when you were 5.
Actually, I actually made it when I was moving to England for the first time.
How old were you when you moved to England for the first time?
Well, I've been to England multiple times before, but when I actually moved to England,
for the first time, how old were you?
The first time I got to, moved to England.
Mate, just tell us when did you make the name? How old were you when you made the name?
The name, I was I think I was 16, like the year I turned 16 to the year it was.
When I was 16, the gamer tag I had was Lord Pro. I was cool, unlike you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Actually, I used to have a warrior. My first warrior was called Pro Elite in WoW. I have to bring up some MMO shit. So, you know, all my MMO boys out there, you know.
Okay, before we lose any of the viewers on this MMO shit talk, let's talk about this anime some more, right? So,
did I tell you about my Lord and Savior Black Death? Okay, I'm just joking.
We stumbled upon this anime on Netflix.
Right.
I'm assuming you watch it with dub as well, English dub. I did as well.
Yes.
So we watched this with English dub, and we had some interesting stuff. You know, it's romantical, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I would say it's pretty romantical. It's again, it's a dating sim. It's one of those extreme scenarios. Now, what's funny with this show compared to other like harems or like because dating sims are technically harem games, right? There's a bunch of waifus or husbandos, if you know, whatever your preference is, and they're just literally just throwing themselves at you, and you have to like make like certain like check.
Well, that's not how. That's actually not how dating sims work. They don't just throw themselves at you. You actually engage in conversation with them because
I was getting to that. Like,
so don't just say they're throwing themselves at you. Depending on how you interact with them will depend on if they will actually like you.
Some of them they just throw themselves at you. Some of them
called
they have
people,
check mark,
right?
No, some of them, it's putting the game on easy mode. Some of them have, quote unquote, like check marks or dialogue cues that you need to make sure that you hit in a certain like time. Like for example, you can't be rude after chapter 3 to this character, or she'll never date you, and so on and so forth. And with these kind of, what's funny with this show and with these kind of shows is, usually, the whole bump into you, the whole fall down, the whole catch thing is like super overplayed, romantic. And I know Q loves romantic, but for me personally, I think it's not terrible. It's just,
how do you know what I like? You don't know what I like.
Because you like romantic and yum, 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 and it's smooshy, okay? Now, the twist with this show, real quick, before, Mr. Q interrupts me, is that there's this little, I forgot his name, the little...
You talking about Riri? Yes. The little corn dog. He's a corn dog wizard. That's why I call him the corn dog.
Riri, who I actually like a lot. Riri is such a character. So I'll tell you about Riri quick. Riri is the kind of character that is basically behind the scenes in like every show, pushing these characters. Like in your real life, if you ever had a boyfriend or girlfriend, you'd stumble into them, you had like an awkward thing, maybe some dude grew up your chest and you didn't find it, appropriate, so you reported him at HR. Like the generic stuff. It's really behind all of that. He's just out there. He's like a Cupid. He's trying to he's pushing things in his favor. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't give a fuck about your dog loving or your cat loving or your chocolate or your gamer loving. He's a fucking terrible person and a monster. But he's trying to make sure that at least you get laid. So I need a Riri in my life. I'm just saying, real quick. I need a Riri. I'm still a virgin. Yo, hit me up. Riri, where you up, boy? Like, Riri sound like a black guy, Yo, Riri, what's... Anyways, fuck's sake. Oh God, I just watched on Dave Chappelle. I'm sorry.
Shameful display.
But Riri is a character, and he really pushes these very like.
Is Riri a he though?
It's actually, I think it's a she, but
I think Riri is an it. That's what I think.
It's but
I think Riri's an it
both.
Or they.
It's
either it's it or they. I don't think Riri is a he or she. Like that's at least when they describe Riri in the description, it says is a wizard who can do romantical magic. It doesn't, and then it says with their star shape. So it says there, not his or her. It says there. So I think Riri is a they. But go on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they them Riri.
Go on.
They basically they manipulate the show in a way where it's completely unreasonable. For example, to get the boy, the main first love interest, to get him to stay over at the house.
You haven't explained what the show is about yet to begin with, but you're going into finer details.
It's a dating sim.
That's not the let me, guys. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I allowed Rare to like start this off. He does not know how to describe shows. He's terrible at this, and I don't blame him. I blame myself. I should have known better. I said because I'm sick, I'll let him do most of the talking. I can't. It's Rare. I'm just gonna have to fight through it. Anyway, the show is about this girl named Anzu, and basically Anzu doesn't give a shit about anything except for chocolates, her little Kit Kat animal thing that she has, and she cares about her video games. She loves dating sim video games.
An actual gamer, unlike Q. Sorry.
Right. And she plays a bunch of otome games, right? For those of you who know what otome games are, they're dating sims where you play as the female and then you have a bunch of male characters.
Wait. Hold up. She doesn't actually play them a lot.
She plays otome games, yeah.
She knows about them. She actually plays like...
she plays other games too, but she plays otome game.
No, I'm pretty sure... I could be wrong.
Her favorite characters are from like the ones that she keeps fantasizing about. They're from Otome games. Anyway, that's beyond the point. The point is she's a gamer, yeah. And because of she's spending all of her time only gaming and not focusing on romance and stuff in her youth, this little magical corn dog wizard thing called Riri pops up, coming from the magical wizarding world, and apparently it shows up because she was playing a dating sim. I know when you start playing games, there's all these menus that pop up, or when you install a new app and shit. No one reads that shit. Everyone just like clicks. Yep. So she clicks on that, and one of them is like sign over your rights to be harassed by Riri apparently, and so Riri pops up and basically takes control of Anzu's life and basically decides, you know what, I'm going to make all these romantical interests pop up for you. You're gonna have all these blokes popping around, trying to get in your pants and all that kind of good stuff, and you're gonna get to choose which one you want, and they're all gonna be pretty and attractive and all this sort of tralala and all that kind of nonsense, right? And so Riri uses all kind of magic to make all this happen by beginning first to like get rid of her parents by giving them some magical, they want something to go off to the US, and her dad was like, yeah, let's go, forget this girl, psh, you got school, stay here. Psh, they flew off, her dad and her mom gone.
And we're taking the cat.
And we're taking the cat with us, you gotta stay. And then after that, they took this boy that she keeps running into, this attractive boy. And Riri does this whole magical thing to have him stay at her house, which his name is Tsukasa, right? So Riri does this whole thing by flooding out Tsukasa's house. But essentially, initially it started off with Riri having rain, and then there was a cockroach in the house, and Anzu was afraid of the cockroach, and she somehow made it possible that she'd run into Tsukasa, and Tsukasa
the whole cockroach cake thing.
Oh, they just replaced the cockroach with a cake.
Mm-hmm. And they keep telling you that cockroaches, or do they say cockroaches are unsavory to look at or something? So we replace it with cake.
Mm-hmm. That's essentially it. Cockroaches are unsavory to look at, so we replace it with cake. Which is true. Cockroaches are horrible to look at. At first, when it happened the first time, I was like, why is there a cake? Is the cockroach carrying the cake? And then I was like, I didn't read it properly. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. The cake is a euphemism for the cockroach. Okay, cool. So essentially, then you have Tsukasa, the first romantical husband or love interest in the anime. And the one that I believe is the canon husbando. I don't care about any of the others. The rest of them guys are some bullshit.
Agreeable.
For me, Tsukasa is bando of dreams in this, and the rest of these guys need to catch their fallen selves and figure this shit out because they're not on his level. But that being said, you know, you can now talk about what you want to talk about, right? Because I've said what I have to say now. I've introduced the people to the show. They know what's going on. It's on Netflix, so you can check it out on there.
Hey, what should we talk about again? Sorry. Right. I want to just bring up. You said that you couldn't binge it. I find that very interesting.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah, like because I was able to, and I didn't really.
I think it's
I
think it's a 50-50 because I am sick. So for this whole from since Saturday I've been sick. So if you've spoken to me between Saturday and now, trust me, even if I sounded fine, I've been sick. Like I've been feeling it since Saturday. All right. So I've been sick since Saturday, and when it came to sit down and just like watch anime or do anything, it's just been hard. Like it's been challenging, and one of the things I found out that made this not so bingeable for me is because of the fact that I don't generally like the other characters that much. Like I don't like Junta. Like I don't like him.
Really?
Like really? I think if Junta was introduced in a different way, I'd like Junta a bit more. But
yeah, like if he wasn't like, who the fuck is
he? Like when he just comes in, it's like, what the who is he? Why is and then it's like, oh well, he's your child friend. I do feel like
they redeem themselves though with Junta.
They do as the show goes on, but first impression matter, and Tsukasa had the best first impression. Like instantly, I like Tsukasa from the beginning because he's a very nonchalant kind of guy. He's very chill. He's not chasing her. She's not chasing him, but he respects her space and stuff. And she tries to respect his as well. I think they have a good dynamic. Junta is kind of he's kind of the tsundere kind of best friend kind of character. He's kind of, I don't think tsundere works well for guys. Like I just don't find tsundere guys like, and I don't think it's a good trope. I think it looks weird for a tsundere guy. He's like blushing for her every time she comes around and pretends like he's not noticing. It's weird. Right? Is he
a tsundere though?
He's not really, because he's not mean to her. So he's not really tsundere, but he does pine for her a lot, but he doesn't like come out right and say it. So he's so like,
I don't think he's I don't know the Dade, but he's not a tsundere or a yandere as well.
He's definitely yandere. Because yandere means he'd have to hit her.
Yandere would be beating up the other guys and trying to like literally get rid of them as soon as possible.
Well, again, I wouldn't say he's tsundere either, but he's tsundere-ish in the sense of like how he's like pines for her but doesn't tell her that he likes her. Essentially, it's like he secretly keeps it to himself, even though everyone else around knows that he likes her, but he doesn't tell her outright like, hey, you know what, Anzu, I really really like you. Be my girl, even though she would basically like turn him down. But and I also didn't really like I think how you say his name. I think is it Hijari or something. Hirari. How do you say that name?
I actually honestly, I know you're talking about the rich boy, right?
Yeah, I didn't really like him either. Didn't really like him.
What was the cheater guy? The guy who cheated on his girlfriend with another girl, and then he ended up confessing to her that he liked Anzu.
No, not feeling that either. Not feeling that. Not working on that. Because again, the only character I fancied in this, the only character that I was like, he's a good match for her, had to be Tsukasa. I thought Tsukasa was the best match.
They both don't want to be in a relationship though,
and I think that's why he's the best match. I think because he's not chasing her and she's not chasing him. And here's the thing: it's not that she doesn't want to be in a relationship. She doesn't want to be in a relationship under the corn dog's terms. Basically, she's like, I don't want to be in a relationship under your terms. Basically, and by the end, Tsukasa does want her. By the end, at the beginning, he doesn't want her, but by the end, he does want her. He does fancy her by the end of the season. But for her, she would probably go for Tsukasa to a certain extent because she does find him attractive. And there's a lot of times where she's like, ooh, you can see like she's like going towards him, and then she remembers, frack, it's this stupid corn dog's idea. I can't do this, So if the corn dog wasn't involved, I think she ends up with Tsukasa easily. Like of all
I thought Junta. Like I thought Junta more, but they are pushing that. They are pushing that Tsukasa. Tsukasa has the most lore. He has the most screen time apart from her. He has, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So surely everyone in their right mind will be voting for Tsukasa, right? Like he's the average height. He's not only is he handsome, like the other guy, Junta, he's like strong and stuff. And the rich guy, he's just like rich, and women like see him as like Prince Charming, right? But Prince Charming, he becomes a fat king in the end, or whatever, so in the end, it doesn't really matter. But Tsukasa, I think he does fill the role of like, he's very like anti like girlfriend, and that makes women like him even more,
But when you think about it in real life, women tend to like what they can't have. That's a fact, right?
I think everyone.
No, everyone do like what they can't have, but women in general usually go after men that are unattainable. Like you like when a guy is so available, he is there, he's always around. You can have him at any point in time. Women don't want that guy. They don't want that guy. They want the guy that's taken, that has no interest in them, that treats them like shit, that pays no attention to them when they come and talk to him. That's the guy that they go for. As
a married man, I can actually say that that is actually true.
they go for the man that they can't get, but when they have the man, they're like, well, whatever. It's like, I don't know. Or if the guys are I should say when the guy's available, they don't want that. They're like, that guy's available. I don't want to think about it like from the perspective, and I think most guys can agree to this. Whenever you've been single, how difficult has it been to find a girl that was interested in you? And then when you're in a relationship, how many girls do you have that come wrong, or women that come wrong, and they're like, ooh, I fancy you. I think you're kind of cute. Oh, I like you. And you're like, fuck. Why didn't these things happen when I was a single bloke and wasn't in a relationship or whatever have you, or looking for anything? That's when those things don't happen. They only happen when you're unavailable emotionally and physically. And it's the same thing that happens in the anime, in the show. He is unavailable and all the girls want him, right? And she is unavailable. And then
and
you
he
have
starts liking her.
and he starts liking her. He starts liking her because she's unavailable, you know, because
She's different than all the other fucking.
Because all the other girls are chasing him, and he does not like that. He doesn't fancy the fact that they were chasing him, but he likes the fact that she's not making him uncomfortable by just constantly like, oh, I like you, I want you, you know, kind of thing. So
You know what's funny with my missus, real quick? When my missus saw that she was walking with, like, firstly, my missus saw Anzu walking on with the main character, like the two other boys.
Mhm.
She was like, how is no one calling her a whore? I'm pretty sure people are gonna call her. And I'm like, yo, it's anime, like chill, you know?
wow.
And he's like, wow, she's a whore.
Is that what did your missus really say she's a whore?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, she's like, yeah, she's a whore.
that is so bad. Like, why would she? Why can't she have? You see, this is the double standard, you know, right?
No,
a man could have multiple waifus in an anime, but a woman can't have multiple husbandos. No, double standards.
She's just mean because she's thinking of the perspective of like your generic like girl who's salty, you know, like she doesn't actually think that it's like, yep, she's a
whore, bitch. You're a whore.
Because we have this like red pill joke. It's a what Andrew Tate reference, I guess, but it's like it's actually from another channel. But it's like a knock joke. It's like knock, who's there? Who? Whore, you know, like so me and my like that's literally our joke right now, me and my wife. So it's like so I'm like, I'll come over, like, I sent her a text. I sent her a text this morning, like, hey, good morning, honey. Hey, good morning. Knock. She just responded for it's like you look at it, you're thinking, what the fuck is wrong with these people? But like, because you know it's an inside joke, so it's
no, it's not like, just because it's an inside joke. You think to yourself, these are crazy people, and you're right. These are crazy.
Well, I think I'm the crazy one.
That is true. I've spoken to your missus. You are the crazy person. Yeah.
I'm like Aubrey Plaza. I don't know if you know who that is. She's an actor. She's very awkward. Like after search up Aubrey Plaza. I'll type in chat. She's
Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza. Yeah. She's like look at any interview with her. It's pretty much me.
Okay.
She's
I know her. She's cute.
Yeah. She's cute.
I know her. I've seen her in. What have I seen her in? I've seen her in something. She's got these sort of like dark circles around her eyes. Kind of comes off as a bit. She's like modern, edgy, kind of weird, kind of cute.
Yeah.
She's got that weird, cute vibe going. I'm trying to think about what I've seen her in. To be honest, I'm trying to think of what show I've seen her in. I've definitely seen her in something. I'm drawing blanks with regards to what I've seen her in. It would have been a while ago though, because I don't think I've seen her.
I don't remember which movies she's in, but
she does voice a character in SpongeBob SquarePants, though, apparently. And
does she?
Yeah, she voices a character called Nocturna. Who's I don't know that character.
No idea.
She seems to do some. She was in Parks and Recreation. I think I've seen her in that probably. And anything else I may have seen her in.
Anyways, just watch interviews with her. She's pretty funny. Like just because I think acting and stuff, you don't get to feel her.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see her on like the Conan show or any late night, you know, any of those late night shows where she's getting interviewed, she's just, for me, it's like she's awkward, but she's also very like edgy and yeah. I would say she's on my type, but I think that when people talk to me and I start acting awkward, I feel like that's how I'm like. I see her and I'm like, okay, I can see what people think. Like I can be very awkward sometimes as well. By the way, did you watch the show with your missus?
We started together, but what happened was that I said to her I was gonna watch it by myself for a bit, to prepare for the podcast, and I didn't end up doing that. I ended up falling asleep. And then because she thought I was watching it by myself, she went and watched it by herself. And so when I came back and I said, oh, I didn't end up watching it by myself, let's watch it together. She was like, oh, I've already watched ahead. And she was like on episode 10 at that point in time. So I was like, nah, screw it. So I did watch it by myself.
Right, okay.
I think we only watched the first 2 episodes together. And then from the rest, I watched on my own.
I think you said you watched... no, maybe.
We watched the first 2 together the first night that we put it on. And then we watched the rest by ourselves, essentially.
How did she find it then?
Oh, she likes it. She definitely likes the series.
Oh, okay. Nice.
She does like it. For me, I would say I didn't. As I said, I didn't find it as bingeable because I didn't really like a lot of the characters. And the thing is, I felt like the show was going perfect once they had established the relationship between Tsukasa and Anzu, and I figured that the whole show was going to be about the two of them and basically the two of them and Riri. I thought it was going to be about how do they get Riri to like convince the two of them to like do their thing. I also did not like the fact that Riri became a romantic interest as well. I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, Riri's a corn dog. Like, I don't care the fact that Riri magically turns themselves into a human. Hey, that is weird. Like, Riri's natural body is a corn dog, right? How can you be romantically attracted to a corn dog?
It's doable.
It's not about its age. It is a corn dog, mate. That is a flying.
I'm just using the meme reference of people say, oh, she looks like a kid, but she's actually about 2,000 years old.
I know.
Okay. I don't have to fill your boomer ass up with information about these memes.
I get the meme. I'm just saying, Riri's a weird little corn dog character that becomes a romantical interest, and I'm just like not there for that. Like, I'm not shipping that. In my brain, it's like, nope, can't ship that shit. For me personally, the only other character I thought would have been a potential ship would have been, in a sense that I was like, oh, you know what? I would be there for that, was his best friend, Tsukasa's best friend, Makoto.
Oh, the one with the dark purple hair?
Yes. For me, I was like,
I liked
him.
Do you think he's gay?
I don't know what I think Makoto's got a thing where
he was like when they were talking about her childhood friend. Fuck, I forgot his name already.
I don't think Makoto is, but I don't know, to be honest. Like, because remember, Makoto was the same one who was saying he wished girls would be hitting on him and stuff the same way like that they were doing on Tsukasa. So I don't know what he is, to be honest. I didn't think too much about that. For me, all I was thinking about him in a sense was like, he seems like a character that you would potentially have as an interest, especially because he is a nice kind of guy character. Like, he's not mean. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with him. He doesn't have any weird.
Pleasant.
He's very pleasant. He's very likable. So I was just like, because he's very likable, I was like, he could be a romantical interest, but I wasn't like sure. I was like, oh, we'll see what happens for the most part.
Actually, the thing is with him is, for me, why I'm suggesting that is because I know he's popular, right? I know her childhood friend is popular. I know he's big, strong, tall in Japan. I think he's like my height. And then he's and you see everyone else's interaction with him. They're all like, "Oh, is it that guy from that school?" No way. Like, like most people, even in other schools, know who he is because he's like the champion star.
He's an ace baseball guy.
They don't really emphasize him too much. I think they really did him injustice. I think if they did like an extra, like, I don't know, 6 episodes or made it 24 episodes, something, they could have gone more backstory, which would have made the first character kind of like less interesting, because then we would have been like, oh, another husbando and another husbando, But to go back to that point with Tsukasa's freaking friend, he acted a bit differently to realizing who he was. Well, he was the first one, but then I remember like how he acted, and he was like all blushing, and he was like wiggling or whatever he was doing, and the other people were all like, "Oh man, can I high five you? Can I get your autograph?" Whilst he was like, "Ooh," But I actually did forget until you now mentioned that he was talking like lucky with girls and talking about that. But I'm not sure. He could be. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I was just curious if he was, maybe like if he gave you that vibe.
I didn't get that vibe from him. If something like that was presented in it, because if there was a scene where something like that happened, it could have happened and I missed it, because again, as I watched this while I was sick. Yeah. And so there are some things that I'm pretty sure I missed a few scenes, and maybe going back to watch it again when I'm feeling a bit better and all that kind of stuff, I will, because I do see myself probably doing it again. Right. So I do see myself watching it all over again and maybe trying to appreciate different aspects of it. But for a first time viewing, it wasn't ideal, especially because I'm not feeling well. So watching it in that sort of like headspace has not been the best binge, and especially because I don't like a lot of the characters. At least so far, I've either found them annoying, like Riri. I found Riri annoying. I can't stand Riri's English voice. Like I think it sounds annoying to me. And it sounds even worse when Riri turns into a human because it's like that voice coming out of that body. Ugh, like it's just horrible. And then it gets worse when Riri becomes a romantic interest, and I'm like, no, why? Why is this thing this corn dog thing?
It's only like one, like it's literally right in the end though. It's not. It's just a save Riri. I think that was redeeming of her.
No,
she did say it was like 0.000 like 3%.
But there was a percentage though. There was a chance. Riri had a chance, you know.
She had a chance at the okay.
Well, again, Riri's not a she. Riri's an it or they.
They. But anyways,
because we don't know what Riri is. It's a
Riri,
flying magical corn dog. That's what I say it is. But go on.
Well, yeah. So. Because I have a note that I wanted to bring up with the missus and watching it with her. She actually found it very annoying. I think it was because of Riri. And I think just because of how anime is like, why is everything so exaggerated? Why is it like this? And I'm like, look, Melina, if you didn't grow up with anime, you probably wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
If you like anime or you end up growing up with anime or whatever, she actually did watch Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball Z isn't like the slice of life anime, so I can't really compare them, right? But either way, she really liked how the show was progressing, but at this like the initial like first I think 3 or 4 episodes, she was just like, and I think because my daughter ended up liking Riri so much, and I think that's why it was because my daughter, anytime Riri would come up, my daughter was just like laughing her ass off, and she was just like, and she has this really funny like deep kind of like kind of like laugh she does sometimes, and I think that's mostly when she finds something very very funny, she'll do that laugh because she only does it when like, for example, if I'm tickling her really hard, or something like this. But anyways, with the character Riri itself, I think the ending on the outro, and I was suggesting this to you that this should be like, at least in my opinion, because I think it's so good, the outro, how she's like, you like my little trick, and then she talks about how you can go and you can watch all sorts of kind of I don't know if you ever listened to the outro, but you can go like modern internet nowadays or modern like television nowadays, you could go and choose all these shows that to watch, and you're here watching us, and and I hope you like it, and blah 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 blah. And then he's like, and then really, like in the end, he puts on the kind of like fucked up face, like the whole like detailed, edgy, like the light is under your face kind of face, and it's just like, yeah, also so I can get paid, And it's kind of like, it's like a dark joke within a very enjoyable, like, oh, not enjoyable, I guess, like an annoying, obnoxious, light, laughable character. Like Riri's, they are supposed to just be, they're just supposed to be. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
comic relief.
The comic relief. They're like the Anya, right? And
Anya's a better character, but
I would say Anya's a better character. Yeah. Anya's 100% a better character, but I do think that made really likable for me and made the show really likable. Like I was actually looking forward to the ending every time, so I could fucking quote it, like so I could literally just quote it, especially for the podcast. But my memory is a goldfish memory.
Were there different ones for each ending? Did Riri do a different one each ending or something, or was it?
No. The last episodes, and I think the first episode, might not have an ending, and I think the last episode had a completely different ending. Like they were all like walking and stuff. But yeah, you need to just rewatch the ending. It's like, it's super good. It's only like, it's only like 30 seconds long, whatever. But it's so hilarious, and it's Anzu just trying to juke juke, aka dodge for non-gamers, a bunch of like guys and girls trying to hug her or get interested in her, and she's just like dodging them like a generic anime character running fast kind of run. Overall, I think Riri was great. I think saving Riri at the end was like, oh, like why? Like, no, we didn't need this in the show. Like, but then I'm like, but my heart is throbbing, like I know, like, it's only 12 episodes, and how much can you actually like a character? But for me, it's just like, I'm actually liking them. And did I find Riri annoying? Do I see where, like, people might see Riri annoying? Like my missus, I can understand why, she'd find annoying. And anime is supposed to be like, this kind of thing where it's, extremely over exaggerated and extremely like something happens, you're running, like she like literally like ran out of the house, she's like literally people say, oh, if that spider's in my house, I'll fucking burn the house down, instead of like actually killing the spider or whatever. But she literally just like flies out the house all anime style, and her tropes and her faces of Anzu, is very exaggerated. And then I think the way they animated how Riri gets like punished, like her like slamming Riri, and then they like ricochet all over the room, and like all this for me, Riri was great. And I think when she switched to girl Riri, I was like, oh, they made her into fan service first, and then it was like kind of funny because she was just like, and I'm like, oh, I see. And then I was like, why is well she at this point, I guess, because I think even Anzu calls it a she, and I think Anzu called it a she in the beginning of the show as well. But either way, they start like messing with the other main characters, and then they go into like Riri being a boy, and it's like, what the hell? And then like it
that
really
was
pushed,
very what the hell, I think, for Riri. Like for me, it's like, okay, if Riri became a girl, kind of like cousin, kind of like, I could see Riri as a friend, like becoming a friend of Anzu for the most part, if they kept to that. But then and that's why I say, like, it gets weird when Riri becomes a love interest, previous to her becoming a love interest, or it becoming a love interest, or they becoming a love interest. It was fine for me. Like, I was like, it's an annoying character, but it's there for the comic relief and all that kind of stuff. The minute that it became a love interest, I was like, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't get this. Why would you make this into that's not cool for me. I was like, nope, no bueno.
I did not feel, I didn't ship them, but I didn't feel like, I was thinking more like, I think both characters know where they stand. We as an audience know where they stand, and even the new guys know where Riri stands, But okay, I guess putting like now that I have a bigger, deeper thought, I didn't think about it too much. Like, I don't see any issue personally. Okay, like, I don't want to fucking say I'm into dogs or anything.
Wow.
But it's like Riri is like this being that it can just transform into anything. Like, I don't see Riri as like a dog per se. I see more like Riri is just like a god. Like, I think they even say they're like god wizards or some shit, or whatever the fuck they said.
It's a magical corn dog, right? That's the best explanation I can give to anyone who wants to know what this character is. It's a flying magical corn dog thing that gets punched every time, and it deserves it. It deserves to get punched. It's the best example I could give as to what this thing is.
But so in the future, right? Let's say because it did say to be continued in the end of the show, which you might have missed. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that.
Right?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Right. Do you think there is? And I'm asking for people in post as well, guys in chats. Do you guys think there's going to be a next season? Is it confirmed? Do you have any like inside leaks or some shit? Maybe you can tell us, Q. I know you're not like really inside.
The only thing I've
heard of something.
The only thing I can say is it's based. It depends on how many chapters the manga has and what it has in it, because the manga is finished.
Right.
The manga has 39 chapters. So
give me a reference to what is that, and what would that be like in anime?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how many chapters they used to make the anime.
Right. Okay. Fine.
So if those were all the chapters they used to make the anime, like if all 39 chapters were used to develop the anime, then obviously there's nothing to come. It means that they finished the story. It doesn't matter if it says to be continued. You're gonna get nothing from it. But if there's more to come, if there's a chance that there are more chapters, then go for it,
Would you watch a season 2?
Probably, yeah. Probably watch a season 2.
So it's not terrible. You want to give your rating?
You want to know my rating?
I think me and the viewers want to know your rating.
Okay,
so
let's hear yours. Let's hear yours first. What do you think about it?
Well, I don't mind bringing it up in then, because I have some pointers where it would affect the rating later. Well.
Okay, I want your rating first before I give mine. So yeah,
I'll do the rating. No, it's okay, but I'll bring up some pointers that I do find very good about the anime. Okay. Let's do the rating then. Let's do the rating then. Okay, go for it. So I think for me personally, and I'll bring these pointers up again. I have to say I liked it a lot, and I actually really wanted a season 2. I was like, please. I was like, I know there's none, but maybe I just didn't know there was none, because I only like assume, because you never told me we're watching 1 and 2 seasons, we just say we'll watch season 2 another time, which is usually then I know there's only 1 or 2 seasons. I love anime with just 1 season as well, or like just a season where you can bite-size get it out of the way for the podcast. Could I see myself watching like 3 or 4 or 5 seasons of this? I probably could, yeah. I don't know how much more content they could bring, but they do have a lot of characters, and since it's memeing off of those dating sim games. You know, like there's so many like dating sims. You can have like freaking hundreds of not hundreds, but like you can have like up to 5 to like 10 to 15 to maybe even 20 characters, you know, that you can potentially date, you know, depending on what dating sim or what year it comes from. For me, the rating I would give it, just because I like it that much, and just because of how like different it is from other romance shows, and just because of Anzu as well. I think Anzu is hilarious. I think I'm gonna have to give it I want to give it like a 9 or 8.5. I think I'll have to round. I want to give it a 9, but I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8.
So you're sticking to 8.5. Okay. 8. Sorry.
Yeah.
8. Okay. So for me, it's a 6.
It's a 6. Okay.
It's a 6 because there are quite a few things that I like about it. So 6 out of 10. But I think the things I enjoy the most about it have to do with you know, the interactions between Anzu and Tsukasa. Like, I love Anzu and Tsukasa, and to a small extent, Junta being a potential love interest driving them together is fine to an extent. But the more and more guys they added in, the less and less I started to like those other characters, if you know what I mean.
Right. What about the other side cast though? Like the girl with the purple hair. She has a very interesting story. She's a very attractive character as well, in my opinion. But
the girl with the purple hair. Are you talking about his sister?
No.
Oh, you mean the creeper?
No. We'll talk about her. Oh, actually, good point. Yeah. We'll talk about her as well. No, I'm talking about Anzu's best friend.
Oh,
like she's like the female version of thingy orange hair best friend. She's like the female version of him, but more...
I like her, but I don't think too much about her, to be honest. She's not, because she's not a part of the love romantic thing going on. So like I didn't really.
You don't think she's for me she was a great side character. For me she was like,
no, I'm not saying she was a bad character. I'm saying I didn't think too much about her, if you know what I mean. Like, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, sure. Well, okay. So what about like the whole like, hey, what size is your breast? And it's like, I don't know, what size is your dick?
Again, she's.
That was fucking hilarious, bro.
It's funny, but like again,
any woman who's getting pestered in chat, just hey, what size is your what breast size? I don't know who the fuck.
I don't know who asked. No one asked that question. I don't know any guy unless he's some kind of perv who goes out asking a girl that kind of question.
Yeah, like me. I mean, wait, no, not like me at all. I've never actually asked you. That is a weird question though. But if any guy ever harasses you, just say, what size is your dick? And then they're like, it's like 10. It's like, yeah, 10 measuring from your asshole or what?
I don't think any bloke asks a girl that kind of question, unless of course it's like you're like really good friends and you just like fucking around with you know, stupid jokes with each other. Like, other than that, I don't know anyone, or you know, who just like straight up. And I don't think like she was good enough friends with them to like or they were good enough friends to her to like make that kind of comment. So I just thought it was just like anime humor rather than it being like that's what people would do. Which
but no, they weren't friends with her. They were like some cons from her class that just like.
But and that's why I say they weren't good enough with her to be able to say something like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, right, I'm like if they were mates, like say for example, Anzu was to ask that question, or one of the other guys who hangs out with them, then you could say like, oh yeah, cool. What's going on, Chris? Welcome to the chat. Like if it was one of the regular characters, then you could say like that could make sense as to why they wouldn't be able to make a joke with each other like that, you know, because them knowing each other would sort of remove the offense from the joke, but them not knowing each other, not being familiar with each other in that way, it's just not that funny. It's like sort of just offense, you know. And right. just to sort of like circle back to something that we discussed before. The manga actually, the manga is published by Viz Media. Yeah, and it seems like the first release of the manga was released in October the 4th, 2022. On October, so the manga just came out, and it seems the anime is ahead of the manga. So for whatever reason, I'm going to have to assume that the anime was written before the manga was written. Like the manga is a follow-up to the anime, essentially.
Right.
At least that's what I'm thinking, because on my anime list it's saying the anime came out in 2019, from 2019 to 2020, and it says it was it has 39 chapters, 4 volumes, and it's finished. That's what it says. serialized by Shonen Jump, la di da, all that kind of stuff. But I don't see the finished chapters. So I can't tell you how many chapters or volumes it has, and tell you if there's more story to come. I hope there's more stories to come. That's what I can say to that. But yeah, back to what we were talking about her. She's an interesting character. I like her, but again, she's a side. She's more side, and my focus more so was on the romance in it, because that's why I like my romantic stuff for. I want to see the romance. I want to see the characters sort of, ship them together.
Yeah, but for me it was interesting because why I brought her up is because I actually, even if they didn't show anything, I would have thought she was waifu material. She's actually we're talking about waifus. Actually, I want to speaking of waifus and husbandos and shit. I think we should do a husbando only tier list for all the people in posts.
Then you already know who I rank. To me, it's Tsukasa.
Yeah. But I mean that we should actually literally.
Oh, you mean for the chat, like who's the best?
For chats and for everyone listening in posts who's listening to this.
All right, we're gonna drop a poll and we're gonna put like
put a poll up.
Was
and I'll put my points when you're doing that. Just put in all the rich boy. I don't know what his name is. And Tsukasa, Mikasa.
I'm literally we're only gonna be able to have 4 characters. So
4,
I'm taking Tsukasa as 1. Right.
Tomta.
I'm gonna put Junta as the other one.
Rich boy
will be 3rd.
And the 4th should be the one who confessed, because he's technically.
You really want to put him in as 4th? Like, I think 4th would probably be Riri more than anything else.
Riri, and that's just because we're gonna troll pick that shit. Bro.
I think that's number 4. I think you put Riri in as number 4, even though I think that's stupid. But I think put there's some people out there who are like, man, I like this cheater dude because. Nah, I'm putting Riri.
Oh my god, you're a fucking cunt. I know who I'm voting for. Boom.
Cooper Knight, what's going on, Mario? Welcome to the chat, man. What's going on? How are you doing, good sir? So I'll put Riri. So Riri's in there. Wow, it's 100% already on Riri. Who's voted for Riri, man? Come on. Tsukasa is best guy. It's you, isn't it, Ray? You voted for Riri.
Hey, look, I can't say anything because I'm one of the streamers. I can't say if I voted or not.
You're a cheating bastard.
Influencing, bro.
You're cheating bastard.
Because you put Riri, I'm gonna vote for it. Of course, I'm gonna vote for it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm not even I'm not voting, so you shouldn't vote either, right? Because if I could vote, I would vote for Tsukasa at least 10 times, and I didn't vote. So
let's teach Q a lesson. Riri, best character.
No, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Who was the best male character in this? Like, who should she have picked? Anzu should have picked who? And I say Tsukasa is the best guy because he was cool, and Anzu was like a wild animal creature, and they made a good match. They were perfect together. So for me, I ship them.
I'll tell you who I think is the best male character. The female character in the backstory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why I liked her, and I'm just actually jumping back to that point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about the husband and stuff a little bit later. So, she got so much unnecessarily good backstory. She feels human, and this is something I like about this anime. How I was telling you about school days, how more about how I don't like how anime characters, like the dude never slashes the girl, or he just toys with her, or he doesn't know any fucking cues. Like yes, guys are blunt, and women would tell you. I'm pretty sure there's some women who are listening post, and they're just like, yeah, you guys are fucking blunt. Like we're pretty fucking blunt, right? Where we prefer, shit being said, or don't say shit. Don't keep it in. Just say your shit and whatever. At least that's like the trope of most men. But we're not that blunt where we're not like this girl is throwing herself or always touching her hair or always doing this and that, and then we're not anime character, male character protagonist who wants to smash but never smashes because he never sees the cue. Blunt. Like Naruto and Hinata, for example. I'm sorry if that was a spoiler, but come on. Right? It's like everywhere. But for me, she got all that backstory, and her backstory was not only realistic, it was pretty good too, because they show how her and Anzu become friends. And I actually, like, when she put her hand out, I thought they were already friends, and I knew it was a backstory, kind of like filler, or I wouldn't even say filler because it wasn't long and it didn't take up a lot of time, but they did the filler great. And then she puts out her hand and says, yeah, this bitch, you know, she got declined because some dude from the football team or whatever likes her. And then she was just like, she knocked into that purple hair chick. So they became BFFs after that day, right? And then she had trouble again, basically, and Anzu was there. Like, they're showing how good the main character is, you know, and it ain't no freaking Naruto coming in with Rasa and Shuriken God mode fucking, you know, bullshit activated, you know, Bankai 10 times fucking whatever. You know, she just came in, she's like, yeah, bitch, I saw you knocked into her, you know, so apologize. She's like, well, I didn't knock into her. Like, yeah, you did, bitch, I saw you. You know, like she... Bro, she didn't do the whole, oh, you're okay, sweetie. Yeah, that girl's a bitch, but it's okay. I'm gonna pick you up and we're gonna be best friends. Like, no, she was like, bitch, look.
You know, like, stick to your girl voice, man. Stick to it. It's doing wonders.
Oh, hey guys, it's me, Rare. No, but it's me, Riri. Actually, I'm gonna call myself Riri now. I'm officially Riri. No, but I think. And it's because they show Anzu, and then they show Anzu again how she or they show the girl again and how Anzu saves her, which is her going. She meets this guy and she's not really interested, and then she starts to show a little bit interest, and he's just like, you know, I'll come over, you know, we'll do this. We're friends. We eat every day, lunch together. They had a good, like, it felt like a half a year like friendship. And then he's like, oh, want to come over to my place? And she's like, oh, well, yeah, I guess I don't need to. And then she's like, you know, like she could study by herself, but he is like more knowledgeable than her, from what I understood. And then they go to her place, and then he like forces himself on her because she's like, oh, well, she's in my house, so I get to fuck, you know, basically, which is for me great because that probably happens a lot, and people assume that that's a cue to like, yeah, you know, of course, you know, I'm going to do some homework, you know, we're going to watch Netflix and chill, you know, it's like by default, you're smashing because some girl came over to your place. Like, bro, that ain't, look, I'm sure that happens and people want to smash because people are horny motherfuckers, unlike me, not the virgin. And, you know, he forced himself, and then he literally the day after, which was like the most generic shit ever. It's like he went around saying that she's a bitch, which I can imagine being a girl probably is very frustrating because, you know, if a bunch of guys call you a hoe, you're getting a high five. Like if I went around and I wasn't a virgin anymore and I started smashing a whole bunch of women, I'm getting high fives. You gonna high five me from fucking England? You know, I'm getting high fives here, left, right, center. Who
says I'm gonna high five you?
I'm getting a high five on my fucking dick. My dick is getting a high five from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, you know, and then you have this fucking poor girl. She's getting fucking harassed in school. And then everyone's like, and Anzu just comes in. She's like, you know, fuck him. I believe you. Because why would you? And then she fucking goes up to Thingy. She says, you actually think a little girl will fucking punch you and fucking, you know, get over yourself. She didn't like you. She didn't fucking give you the pum-pum, you know, fuck yourself. And she just tells him in front of everyone. And everyone's like, and then she goes around and says, oh, by the way, everyone else who's spreading this rumor, be ashamed of yourself because it's a fucking lie. Bro, I want to high five Hanzo on her dick, bro. Like, honestly, because she fucking rocks, bro. Holy shit, she's a great character, and you know, like probably someone you want to have as a friend. You know, like me and Q. You know, I'm the Anzu in Q's life. You know, he doesn't know it yet, but you know.
Wow.
You like that one?
I do. That was a good one. And like again, like she's a good character. I do like that. And again, keeping in mind, I did give this a 6. 6 is not a bad. Right. My issue with the show has to do with all these romantical interests. I don't find that interesting. You know,
but I feel like you're the Transformers dude. You know, you're the dude who doesn't like the Transformers. Like, you know, you're getting into like at least really is the reason that it's bullshit. You know,
I knew I was getting into. I think maybe if they were introduced in a better way, I'd probably like them more. I find some of the and here's the thing. I find some of their characters leaned too much into their archetypes. From like, because remember she was associated everything with like this whole game thing, so she was like, oh, he's the best, he's the former the best friend from my childhood, and
really?
So
you find them very archetype. I find them very like
they are.
Wait. Can I say why though? Can I say why?
Go on,
just real quick. Because if he was the best one, he would always have a freaking baseball clothing on. Let's say, right, for example, if he's like the baseball archetype boyfriend, he'll always have the clothing on.
You're misunderstanding. Okay, so in the dating sim games, right, each character has a type. Like so for example, like for a male focused harem game, it would be like you'd have a tsundere character and you'd have like your yandere and you have the whatever others and stuff like that, right? These guys all fit a character role. For her, right? So in a sense, they all fit the role of characters from this particular source material from the games and stuff like that. So when they were first introduced, you would see there would be a scene where she would like, oh, so this is that guy character, and she would like, you know, point out the points about them, what makes them fit that role and so forth. For me, I found that really weird. Like, I would have loved if Riri did it more like organically, like, you know, like kind of like how Tsukasa and her met. Like with Tsukasa and her, it didn't seem like Riri, like you couldn't tell, like, oh, like even the whole thing about Riri doing magic to make people like when they first introduced Junta, and he's outside like imagining he's talking to her, but he's talking to himself. Like,
yeah, okay.
And to me, I'm just like, really? Like, and you know, like just those sort of things. Like, I felt like it was just sort of like Riri did patchwork with all the other characters, whereas with Tsukasa it was effortless. Like it felt so organic. Yeah. Like if she did not know Riri was doing something, there's no way she knows that was supposed to happen, and so it makes it so much more enjoyable, right? And I find as well, I find with Junta, if we had started the episode with Junta already being her best friend, and then he makes the confession, man, right, instantly. I'd probably like Junta more, but that was not what happened.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that as well. Yeah,
you know, actually. So with each of those guys, as the way in which they're introduced, that's the issue for me. Like once I haven't connected with that character to that extent, it's really hard for me to emote to. Like, I did care about certain things that they did. But Tsukasa had the best introduction, and it just sort of stuck with him throughout the series. So as it went on, I just liked him more and more. You know, with the others, it was like, ugh.
They kind of like pushed him to the side a little bit more, though.
They did push him sometimes, but at the end of the day, they pushed him to the side to kind of make space for some of the other guys. But he was still, to me, in my head canon, he was the most important character. He's the guy. It's him. You know, like I was like, it doesn't matter what these other guys do. He will come out on top at the end because she's gonna pick him because he's the best guy, and la-di-da, swiddle. You know, even like, for example, like the rich kid, even though he redeems himself in the end as well, he does a good job and he comes wrong. I still find he comes off, again, very annoying. Like, I find him very annoying from the beginning when we saw him.
He comes off like he comes off like people who think they're smart, but or like hot and clever and all that, and then they're just like,
they're not. They're just plebs. And he actually used the word pleb, and then I was like, damn it, I used the word pleb. I hate him. Why is he actually my word?
He actually reminded me a lot like you.
I was like, why did you use my word, you bloody wanky poo? Oh, I hate you. You terrible character.
Imagine using a British word in a Japanese anime. Couldn't be. I have to say though, I'm not. I want to let you know though, I'm not disagreeing with you. I actually agree with all of your points, except for the fact that you think that they're very. What was the word you used? Like generic, like they're tropes. I don't think. And hear me out, right? I was talking about the basketball, the baseball guy, or Tom, whatever. I think the way they did it was wrong. I did find his backstory when she does find out very redeemable. And I know you agree with me on this. And I don't find it generic. And hear me out on this. The one thing I think what was great about it is that he was very chubby and looked very different. And I know for a fact, and why I like anime is when they start adding realistic shits, right? If you didn't notice, I like, obviously, I don't expect like fucking Rasengan to fucking never exist, or Kamehameha, but you know what I mean? But I like when they add real life shit, especially in slice of life or shows with a bit more slice of life, right? For example, like with some of the other shows that we've talked about in previous episodes, which you guys need to go check out. Make sure you go watch that shit. Make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe. But yeah, the thing I like about it is that he was chubby when he was younger. Right. They were gamers, and the freaking cheater guy cheated his relationship with her. So they explain it, and he literally did like, oh, she doesn't want to be friends with me, so I'm just gonna, because she was like, oh, she's too busy playing with us now. So, and kids would believe that,
that's perfect. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine.
Wait, but I think overall, why I like it is because something like that probably happens to people. Like, when you hear me out, right? When you go, and this is for everyone listening in post and all of you listeners as well. When you look at some high school photos and you realize, oh, who's this person? And then you go look them up, and then you're like, damn, they look fucking good now. And then you remember, what year it was, what class, you don't even remember their name. You're like, who's this kid again? And you have to go ask your friend or
Hi, Nicole.
whatever scenario.
Sorry, I'm responding to the comment chats. Go on, continue.
Yeah, no problem. And you see all these like people you used to know or didn't know or didn't even care about, didn't even know existed. And the thing is, Anzu forgetting, sure, but they also redeemed that. It wasn't like, oh, it's Junta. It seemed like because he used a different name, like he nicknamed himself another name, and she forgot the last name. Which I mean, I guess in Japan, it's kind of weird because most people use their last name.
Exactly.
But I do think because they were young as well, and I do think that just because it's a real life scenario, like I said before, for me it gives him credit, and I actually think he became a very redeeming character. Like yes, I like
Tsukasa more. You like Tsukasa more?
Yes, I do like Tsukasa more. I think he, like, with a dog, I think he even looks fucking good with a hat on. Like, he looks super good, and I could see women being like, oh yeah, he is my. I don't
actually find Tsukasa looking to be all that pretty boyish. Like, honestly, to me, Tsukasa just looks plain. But like design wise, like you look at his character design, I'm like, okay, he just looks like a plain.
No, he looks like a very modern.
Only when they put the sparkles on him, then it's like, okay, they're trying real hard to make him look sparkly and thing. But I don't find like in some anime, there's certain male characters. You look at them and you're like, this character is meant to be pretty boy. Like Tsukasa doesn't seem like that to me. He just seems like a very plain guy who just he's nonchalant, doesn't give a shit, but all the girls like him, kind of thing. And I don't think any of the male characters in this show come off in that sort of sense. Like I don't think any of the male characters in the show look like, oh my god, these guys are supposed to be like super pretty, kind of thing. Whereas if I look at, like, for example, remember Classroom of the Elite?
Yes.
There are characters in Classroom Elite, some of the male characters in Classroom Elite that you look at them and you're like, this guy is meant to be. And I think it just has to do with the art style for this manga or anime. The art style does not sell him as pretty boy to me. When you compare it to other stuff, he's alright, but he ain't no.
I think he's the best looking male character in the show. I like his friend as well. Yeah, I like his friend as well though. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I
think her dad is the best looking male character in the show. But go on.
Oh my god. Anyways, I hope you see my point at least.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, and honestly, I think the thing with Junta, like I said from the beginning, is that if he was introduced as her friend from the beginning, that whole thing makes more sense. That whole thing like works for me better than it being like, oh well, she forgot about him, and then they especially because of how Riri brings him in and he's just standing by the door and he's talking to himself, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Like he didn't talk to her the whole time they've been in school.
And then
together.
all of a sudden they're besties again, and he's and him and the other girl are friends, and they're all talking and hanging out.
Maybe if they showed like him like actually making the commitment to.
I think if they had showed him coming wrong and then he starts talking to her again and they build back that friendship. And then it's like, you don't remember me? And then she actually remembers him at the beginning. And it's like, oh, right, this was my mate. And I found it so weird how she was going along with everything, like pretending like she knew him as well. Like I was like, that's so weird. Like she's just going with it.
I think that could have been like terrible writing as well. In my opinion.
I just felt like it was. But just
I do think my point still stands though with the whole.
He does. No, I'm not. Again, and when I use the word generic, I'm talking about the character trope type. He is the best friend character. That is what his character. His character is best friend character, right? That's who he is as a character.
You mean childhood friend? But
childhood friend. Good. He's a childhood friend, right? Tsukasa is like the nonchalant kind of like unattainable one, the lack of emotional type. He's the
just think that's
rich
boy.
Where
we disagree, though. I just have to say with the Junta, specifically with Junta, I think that's where. But it's okay.
As a character, I think Junta does work his way in somehow as the show goes on. I just think he could have been done better. And when you compare him to Tsukasa is best guy. He does a better job. They did a better job with introducing him. There wasn't a bunch of. I didn't feel uncomfortable with any parts about his story. It just worked, and I was like,
well, there was one part that was kind of uncomfortable. But it wasn't his fault.
It was not his fault.
Yeah. You know what we're going to talk about, right?
Yeah, you could go on. You could talk about it. You could talk about crazy people if you want to.
Because I'm a crazy person? All right, listen. As a crazy person expert, talking to Q all the time and him constantly berating me and telling me that I'm crazy, even though I have took my crazy pills, I'm technically not crazy right now.
Right now.
I would like to say... I would like to say that, fuck, bro, his backstory, bro, I feel like I need to change my rating to 9, bro. Like,
wow.
I haven't seen a good slice of life like this in a while. Like even like Lucky Star and them, they're pretty good, but this one actually kind of.
Did it pull out the
I'm trying to think. Yeah. The thing is, there's another show we're gonna watch that I want to bring up.
We're gonna watch.
We're gonna watch for the podcast. You mentioned this already. It's School Days, right? So I think I'm pretty sure we brought this up already.
Maybe. Is it one that you recommended?
Yeah, it's one that I recommended, and I think a lot of people hate that show. And I don't want to talk too much about it here, but I like maybe one day we'll do it. And that's a slice of life. I'm not spoiling it, but it is a slice of life. And what I like about it is it's not very generic. Like this show is not very generic. But I won't talk more about that. We'll continue with this show. So Tsukasa has this really dark backstory, right? Well, firstly, when you introduce him, he's living by himself already, which is weird because I think he's like 16 or 15 or 14 or something. I think he's 15 or 16. I'm pretty sure.
He's
like
about the same age as the main character. And also, what's weird as well is that they do mention he has a sister, but then they don't bring it back up again for a while. It's like, oh, he's got a sister, and then nothing. Which to me was like, why aren't they gonna? Is no one gonna mention anything else about his sister? Like, okay, cool.
Hey, Mr. Valgard.
Oh, hey, Mr. V, what's going on, man?
Hi, ding.
But yes,
anyways. And yeah, School Days, good old classic. Yeah, we'll hopefully we'll do an episode on it. I really want to hear Q's take on it. I think as much as I wanted to hear his take on JJK. So, and if you wanted to go check that Jujutsu Kaisen or JJK episode, go and watch a previous episode. I think it was a previous episode we did it. So, go check that out or whatever we did. It was a recent episode. I think it was episode 10. So yeah, let's talk about this past about Tsukasa's past, right? So the sister thing. Yes, you're right. I do think his sister comes in really well, though.
She does. She does
come in. So there's no gripes there, right?
No, I'm talking about the weirdness of him being by himself, and then he, that kind of stuff. Or it all works together into his weirdness, because he's by himself. Then they mention he has a sister because they don't. It's not like they get into his backstory immediately. Like you see him at the beginning from episode 1, episode 2, and so forth as you go on. Like I think there's a lot of mystery to him at the beginning because he's by himself from the start, and you don't know anything about him. And the more you learn, the more intriguing he gets. And the fact that they do drop one or two things, like his sister being one of the things they mention, and the whole idea that he's calling the school for whenever something happens, and he's where's he getting money from, and all these sort of things, or he's working. Okay, cool. It makes him an interesting character. That's what I like about him. I like that he's interesting. But you continue. I digress.
Yeah. So in regards to the sister thing, and actually even the backstory thing, I actually first I forgot about the sister. Like he even had a sister. So that's one thing.
I didn't forget. I remember that from the get go. But go on.
Yeah.
Because when she was introduced, I was like, yeah, cool. We know her now. Okay, go on.
Right. Yeah. For me, I was like, wait, what sister? Like, that's how little I remember them talking about that. So, for me, she was never supposed to be like on screen. At least if I did see it, and I probably did remember, and I just don't remember now. But, and I don't mind how they did the backstory. I think with Junta, maybe they should have showed a little bit more, or at least him getting there, or at least showing him in school, or maybe even showing him in some scenes, and we didn't know it was him until we see it's him. Yeah. They could have definitely did it better with Johnson, but we've established that in this podcast already. I'm pretty sure even the people listening in post probably would agree with us. I'm sad to say it's terrible backstory, but or terrible writing, I should say, not backstory. But going on to backstory and to writing, I actually like how they do the backstory for these characters. How, in a real life friendship, right? This is also something like what the show does right. And I watch all these anime and I think what they do wrong, what they do right. And because I'm really simple when it comes to like what they're trying to show, explosions, great. I want to watch explosions. Cars, great. Titties, great. And the backstory writing for me is not excessive. And they did, and I hate to say it, but Tsukasa's backstory, the way when they did it as well was crucial because he's on the floor, he's breaking down, and then you get to understand who is this freaking chick. Who just, And then he fucking like he vomits and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck did she do? Like, is he an ex? Is this why he's like a woman like avoider? Because he might think all women would end up. And then they go into how, and I'll explain to the viewers as well. But one thing I want to point out really badly is when Anzu's on the floor, the main character. When he looks down the first time, like the very first episode they're introduced, or second, sorry, not first time they introduced, second time they introduced, but I think in the first or second episode, I'm pretty sure it's in the first episode, she falls down the stairs on the way to school, and she looks down and then she looks up at him, and then he's like, "Oh, what the fuck? Get away from me!" And you're like, for me, I was like, "Yo, that's kind of rude." And even his friend who came up, he was like, "Yo, that's kind of rude. Like, you don't say it like that." And then you realize when she falls, as soon as she falls, I didn't even know. I was just like, "Oh shit!" Like that was actually like the ending of some movie. I'm not gonna spoil the ending of a movie that it's like, what the fuck? It's like like a M. Night Shyamalan freaking like
M. Night Shyamalan.
Jutsu. Yeah. I call him. It's a meme. It's like a freaking plot twist jutsu, as I call it, right? It's like for the arc, you know? I'm doing like ninjutsu signs in my hands right now. And it's like the plot twist jutsu of this shit is just, it's so freaking crazy because then you're like, so basically, and I'll explain to the viewers now, right? So most likely they've seen it already, but you know. So Tsukasa, we talk about his past. He meets this girl, and this girl is like you just get stalker vibes from her, right? It's not a surprise. She's like, oh, it's a stalker. Like she should have known, right? Straight up, you know. But you know, she not being rude and not like, I guess, judging people just based on, you know, how they look. So basically, Tsukasa, when he was a bit younger, he bumped into this chick, and then they explain why he's alone. So he's alone because firstly, his dad was a freaking cunt towards him for not believing him. He bumps into this chick she's very pale. She has like a very interesting haircut.
Creepy.
She's very creepy looking. She's almost, and the way she walks to him is also like, she's like one of those like Silent Hill, like one of the monsters in Silent Hill. If you ever played Silent Hill, I'm not gonna spoil too much, but one of the monsters in Silent Hill kind of like is a girl, and it kind of like walks to you like that, and she walks to him literally in that way. It's so creepy. And I find this character very interesting, by the way. Like very, very interesting. Probably like I would say like top 3 interesting characters.
Wow. You like creepy waifus then?
Yeah. Well, not really, like, but kind of. So but it's the way they did it. So she it's not like, okay, she was creepy and then she fought. Like they did it so good. It's like every day he's walking. Like they show day in, day out, day in, day out. They like in like 5 minutes you get this backstory. Or it felt like fucking like I watched a half an anime, but they do this backstory so quickly and they go over so many things. They go over like first she's like saying hi to him, so she's saying hi, and then she like. Then she starts buying him stuff online and then using her mom's thingy. So you like know she did research. She calls him by name, and then she starts. His family starts getting annoyed with him, and then that's when the dad doesn't believe him, and he's like, "You're leading on this woman because you're good looks, and then now she's obsessed with you. Like this is your fault. He just blames her, which is terrible because like victim blaming is like a real thing as well. Obviously we're not getting into this, but sometimes it's terrible and sometimes it might be true. But either way, for the most part, people should be innocent until proven guilty, right?
I think that's an extent from the perspective of a parent and a child. I think it's kind of damning that he didn't believe his own kid, or at least he felt like he couldn't believe his own kid to the extent that he would basically because it shows that they don't have a good relationship from the get-go. Because like if you and your kid have a good relationship, your parents should trust you first, that you come in and say, hey, this happened. And
Anzu even said it. Anzu literally said it as well. Like, no wonder he doesn't fucking like you. You're his fucking dad and you don't even believe it. Like, yo,
pretty much you won't have a good relationship because if you can't trust if you can't trust in your own kid, then that just shows as a parent that you're not a good parent essentially, or that relationship is just a poor relationship. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's as a parent, you both of us are parents, even though I'm a virgin. I think it's something that's crazy to think that you and your unless your son unless your son is like an actual psychopath or some shit, and I can understand. And I think even then it's just like you still see redeeming qualities in your child because it's your child. But then there are people who are terrible parents. You know, there are people who
I think if your kid is a psychopath, you would know your kid is a psychopath, and you should be honest with yourself. You should be honest with yourself. You should be like, my kid is a psychopath. Like, I love my little psychopath, but it's my psychopath. But he is a psychopath, or she is a psychopath. Like, you should be honest with yourself. Like, you can't be like, no, my kid is not a psychopath. No, you got to be like, look, yep, little psychopath.
Bro, if you know anything with parents and teachers, you would always know that teachers always know that their kid is always the best kid and the nicest kid and then from the perspective of you being a kid yourself and going to school.
My mom was not like that. My mom cut my ass in school.
Your mom wasn't like that.
My mom, I remember something had happened with me in school and another kid, right? And my mom got called in, right? And my mom straight up was like, once she knew the truth, because she asked me, and my mom was always very clear, don't lie to her. So when she asked me and she knew I was in the wrong, my ass was grass. Now, if I was in the right, she would have defended me. But I was in the wrong, right? And so she cut my ass right there. Straight. She wasn't the kind of mom that would just come out and be and say like, whatever you do, you're right. That wasn't her. She's like, she comes and she asks for it. It's like, what did you do? Tell me the truth, and if you're right, I will defend you from the kingdom come. But if you are wrong, fam, I am not defending that if you're in the wrong. And so I was in the wrong at that point in time, and I got my ass handed to me, right? You know, mom got the belt off, and because she didn't want the teachers to hit me, you know, so she took the teachers. Back then, we had like a teacher used to like spank us with this. Our principal had this stick he used to call Mr. Twiggy, right?
Oh my God, we had something similar to that. Anyways, Matilda, but yeah, go on.
So our principal, we used to call him Princey. His name was the principal's name was Princey to the students. We were in primary school at the time. And he had this stick called Twiggy, and kids had all these rumors about what Twiggy was made of. Like, oh, he's made from a guava stick, and he's wrapped in tape, and I hear he was soaked in pee, and that's what makes him sting more. Like, you used to hear all these bizarre stories, and we believed them all. Like, we believed every single story, right? It was probably just a stick. Like, the guy just probably broke a stick one day. I was like, look, here's the stick, right? And there were probably multiple versions of this stick. It probably broke at some point or got lost, and he had to get the next one. But we were convinced this was the immortal Twiggy that survived generations, and student after student came into school and knew and feared this Twiggy. You know, like they feared Twiggy as much as we feared Twiggy, right?
The blood of virgins soaked every night.
I know it was.
Oh my God, that's funny that you mentioned that. I have something similar. Something similar like that.
That's the story. Oh, I need to. Someone's posting some shit in the chat. Let me. How do I move this? How do report. Do you select report?
I don't know how to do from your point of view. I would love to help you.
Okay, I'm just gonna select hide from this channel. Does it work? Oh no, did it do to Mr. V? Oh my God, no, wrong person. Sorry, Mr. V.
Rip Mr. V. He will be missed. Give you the stick later.
I'm trying to get rid of this spammer. Oh my God, I did it to Mr. V instead. Did it work? Damn.
There we go.
It worked. Sorry, yep. Mr. V. Mr. V, if you see this, it probably kicked Mr. V from like he was watching and he just got kicked. I'll just let him know in Discord. I'll just let him know in case he got kicked. Sorry, mate. It was a type. It was an accident.
Anyways, let's get back to the anime. Right?
Yeah, go on.
Where was I? Okay, so we were talking about the stalker and the dad not liking or not being a good parent, and we both agreeing that it's kind of fucked up. Okay, Mr. V is fine. He's here. Hello, Mr. V. Welcome back. If you
sorry, it was an accident. I was trying to ban the person posting the account, the bot account, and the way they list your comment was so close to that one that I accidentally clicked on yours instead of theirs. Oh, yeah. Good Lord. Sorry, guys. I'm sick. Did I mention at the beginning? Because I think I did.
You mentioned it multiple times.
Okay.
They know. We know. Food stuff and sickness. Anyways, got some good soup, you know, and he's you know,
it's starting to wear off. The goodness of the soup is starting to wear off. I'm starting the sickness is starting to come
up. If it was
up.
my soup, you see, it'd have lasted a few more hours, you know.
Come on, let's get through this thing. Come on.
Hey, you brought up good soup, okay? I'm just saying. Anyways, so the missus is watching this like that motherfucker.
Hey.
Cook off tonight. I'm a Gordon Ramsay, this motherfucker. You know.
It's a fact she cooks better than me at this point, so it's all good.
Right. Well, I probably cook better than you as well, you know.
No, you're shit.
Probably my daughter cooks better than you. She's fucking almost 2. You know?
She cooks better than you, and I cook better than you, so it's all good.
No, she cooks better than you.
She's allowed to cook better than me, but as long as you're not the one who's cooking better than me, which is a fact. So.
I'm cooking better than you.
No, you're not.
Anyway, so look, you just make dog food, okay? You know dog food that they used to make in the Caribbean, rice, like all ass freaking like rice and pieces of.
Hey, you know what? Someone actually made food for me like that once, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is like dog food." Oh my god! Like I thought to myself, "This is like dog food," but like it wasn't scraps though. But it looked exactly the same way dog food looked.
Same way, yeah.
And I was like, "My god!" Visually speaking,
the thing is, you guys don't even know. Like people listening, post unless you're from Trinidad and Tobago. When we say dog food, we don't mean, you know, pedigree. You know, the brown little. No.
Like you take things. Leftovers in the Caribbean. You give your dog the leftovers, like whatever's left in your pot. And usually, if you make rice, you just put. If you made like some chicken and you have some bones left back, and you have some beans left back, and and you just mix in some rice in it in a pot, and then you give it to the dog. That's usually what they'd consider dog food in the Caribbean. So
yeah. Basically, it's you buy a specific rice, though. I think if I'm correct, right?
Is it specific rice? I thought it was just rice.
I don't know.
Is there special rice like dog rice?
Because my dogs got different food. My dogs got like regular dog food.
Yeah, but you were rich people.
Leftovers. Look, listen, I ain't flexing my shit, okay? But my best friend we used to sit by his grandma real quick, and she used to have this big ass, but she had a lot of dogs as well, and my aunt as well, by the way. And she would get this. It was like triple grain rice or something. It was like. The rice wasn't like completely white. It was kind of like off colored, like it looked like almost like pilau rice. And she had this huge like sacks, like I'm talking like cement looking sacks of rice just for the dogs. And she would mix it with like leftovers, like you said, meat, undesirable parts of the animal, and she would like basically make pilau with it, but like without all the good stuff from pilau, and she would even give them like carrots and stuff, so they got really good food. But the like I'm telling you, like if it didn't smell the way it smelled, I think I would have been like, I probably could take a spoon, To
be frank, I've actually gone over to my best friend's house, and smelled him cooking dog food for his dog and be like, food smells kind of nice. But when you look at in the pot and you realize it's dog food, you're like, yeah, fam, I'm good. I'll pass.
He starts eating it and everyone starts laughing at you. Like,
no, I didn't say anything. I just saw the food and then realized, it's dog food is making. Like, because you walk in and you could smell because Caribbean people have flavorful food, So like you walk in, you smell the flavor, you're like, oh, that smells like flavorful food. Someone's cooking. Love alert. I could eat something. And then you realize it's dog food and you're like, well, I'm not eating that. So yeah, no, not a dog. I'm not a dog.
Anyways,
I can't eat that.
Let's get back to the show. Because I don't want to keep you here, and we're already like over time. But we did start a bit late, so we have to do some justice. So let's talk about the stalker chick real quick.
Yeah.
So terrible dad. Queuing back to that. Queuing back. Going back to where we left off. Stalker chick. Terrible.
Can we call her Stalker Chan?
Dad. Stalker Chan. We'll call her Stalker Chan because I actually don't even know if she has a name.
She has a name, but I'm gonna call her Stalker Chan.
We'll call her Stalker Chan, right? That's my new nickname. Riri Stalker Chan.
Your new nickname? You mean mine? I'm the one who gave her Stalker Chan. Don't try to take credit for this.
You can give me Stalker Chan as well. Oh, anyways, I'm not gonna put that personality on this on the stream. I mean, so this character. The way they show her stalking him every day, and again, you see him over like from what it felt like half a year, maybe it was like a month or two, but it felt like half a year almost. They like back to back. She buys gifts from online, and she basically goes into this whole like hyper stalker mode where she drugs him even and then goes into his room and takes selfies with him and posts it online. And the best part with this is the best part. her mom, they show you the girl's mom. So she's clearly crazy, right? And he's clearly innocent. And there's no deceiving from his point. There's no catfishing, whatever the fuck it's called, right? There's no catfishing. He's just, a hot guy, right? And he was nice to her. And why he stalked her was just because she fell one day. And people
why
were
he
bullying
stalked
her.
Or why she stalked him?
Why she stalked him, sorry, is that she fell one day when they were passing by. And, being a regular ass boy, or regular ass gentleman, I should say, you give a lady, you help her up and you give her the bag, or you take it and run, up to you, whichever one. No, but you give her the bag and then you're just like, okay, look, have a nice day. Bye. Nothing special. And in her brain, it was just like, snap, right? So I actually didn't cover that. That's why she was stalking him. But whatever the reason, she started stalking him, right? And that was the reason. And the mom is very crucial for me at this point because you see the psychological part from the back where it's like she's getting these like she has to go to court, I guess, or she's maybe not to court, but she's getting like these like what do you call it? Like where you're not allowed to be near someone. I forgot the name of it right
now. Notice.
Yeah, she's getting a restraining order, and she has an uncle who works as a lawyer. And there's a lot of backstory. I'm not going to talk about that. But what I found interesting about it is that the mom believed her daughter, which is very funny because Tsukasa's dad didn't believe in him, but she's willing to defend her daughter, even though she doesn't obviously know that her daughter's wrong. And her daughter lies to the mom as well, obviously. And says that, we used to be dating and he's nice and da-da-da-da. And so her mom is like, yeah, well, you guys used to date. Well, there's nothing wrong. Like, yeah, we'll talk to your uncle or whatever, and then you'll get the restraining order. And either way, all of this happens. And that's the reason why that Tsukasa leaves. So, and the way they did it, the way, like the whole build up, everything, great. Then, so cutting to like, I guess the present, she's clearly unhinged and she's obsessed. If I was like a normal person, I would maybe think that's a bit weird, but knowing how I am, I think someone obsessing over you, I think it's kind of hot.
You think it's kind of hot?
Weird. Yeah. But like
I've had that happen to me before, and it's like at the time when it happened, I found it quite creepy.
Right.
And other than that too, I found it annoying as well because I fancied someone else, especially when you're in school and you have someone obsessing over you, and then they're sort of like going around and spreading rumors that aren't true about you and them and stuff like that. It then hampers the relation, especially when you're a young person. It hampers the potential relationships you're trying to form. So like maybe you fancy some other girl and there's a girl who fancies you and she's going on about how you and her are a thing, or whatever have you, and then so the other girl's like, okay, well, he's not available, so you miss out on that, and then you're thinking, damn, this is annoying, this really bothers me, kind of thing. And I can relate to him in the sense of like stuff like that, especially like not trusting people and stuff like that. Like for me, I've always had this thing where if I leave a relationship with someone, I will never date someone that has any of their traits again. Like to me, it's like, nope, can't do it.
Right.
Like I dated a model and I will never date a model again, specifically because certain things that this model did, and I'm like, look, wouldn't do it again. 0 out of 10, that kind of stuff. Or if someone says to me like to trust them on specific things, if like they say something to me and then they tell me to trust them, I wouldn't in certain ways, because I've had that happen in the past where I've had someone say, oh yeah, nothing, everything's okay. And then I realized, no, it's not okay. You're lying to me, So, to
like yourself more. I know what you mean, and I know what you're talking about.
So, in the sense of that, I can understand the character of Tsukasa, and this is again why I say Tsukasa is the best guy, because he was introduced well, and the more you get to know about him, the more realistic and likable and just empathetic he becomes as a character. The more you, as the viewer, think, man, Tsukasa he's
not just like awkward around women and he just hates women because they're
exactly
all, like, goating over him. There's actually a real reason behind it, because most. I mean, again, I think most men wouldn't mind women just hitting on them. I think I used to be hit on a lot in school. Personally, I didn't hate it, but I didn't find it enjoyable. So like I can understand them, but I think an average guy, like, and I'm not saying I'm like above average or anything. I'm just saying like like if you have to take like like a percentage of men, right? Most women would be like, oh, bro, all these women are throwing themselves at me, but I'm gonna sleep with all of them, because that is what happens usually. Not most of the time, I would say, at least. Obviously there are situations like, for example, in Tsukasa's situation, which is obviously very terrible, like something like that happening. No, I'm not saying that Stalker-chan is like right or wrong or whatever, because for me,
she wrong.
my
She
stalker
a stalker.
is yeah, she's definitely wrong. Yeah, she's definitely
crazy
wrong,
stalker
right?
chick.
But I end up being best friends with like I guess she wasn't a stalker, but my best friend had a super crush on me and would stalk me in a sense that she would like
be outside your window at night, licking your comb and stuff.
Okay, no, but she would be like looking at me in the schoolyard and stuff, and
that's not the same. That's not the same. That's not the same. You can't call her a stalker.
No. She literally like knew a lot about me already. Like, okay, she's not to an extent, but I acknowledged her. You know, I acknowledged her, and then I told her like I just want to be friends, and then she accepted it. No, she's not extremist stalker. You know, but she was like, yeah, I stalked you a lot. Like I went like she's like, even to this day, like I still stalk you, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Like I accept you, you know. And she's my best friend because I can talk to her, and she gives me good advice. And well, I have two best friends. I have a male best friend and a female best friend, but she's like the best friend.
Who's your male best friend?
I'm not gonna say his name, but he's half American, half.
Does it start with a letter from the alphabet?
Yeah, but his name isn't one letter.
Okay, well, I was just checking. It's okay.
I have to let you down.
It's okay.
You remind me of him though a lot, which is crazy. But he's half American, half Tobago, you know, Trinidadian.
It's okay. My feelings are hurt, but go on.
Wow. Next time on Innocent Podcast, Q has. So with Stalker-chan, and I think again going back to how realistic this show is, you know, the mom side of things, how they deal with it, and she ended up attacking Anzu with a knife, which I saw coming. And actually, I want to ask you this, right? Because I do want to talk more about Stalker-chan, but do you think that Anzu was actually going to die? Because they did hint at that in the show, like a few times. I
didn't think so, because of the show is about her and the episode number. So I was like, no. If that was happening like final episode, then I'd be like,
wasn't it the final episode?
No, it wasn't the final episode. They spent time doing the whole sort of like look back at like
is that the beach episode? I forgot.
No, the final episode is
trying to get that to be a meme, by the way.
The final episode is when they spend time with the boys and just sort of like wrapping everything up. I didn't think she was gonna die. I especially because
it was Riri and
because of the it was with Riri. Because of the type of anime it is as well, like I was just like, that's not gonna happen. She's not gonna die. Like I didn't think for a second like that was gonna be the thing. Again, because of the type of anime it is. If they had killed her off, I'd have been shocked out of my mind, and I'd have probably ranked it even higher. I'd be like, surprise, bitches! You gave me something I didn't expect. You know,
Mr. V, you need to watch it, man. You need to watch it. It starts off so typical. But then it starts slapping with real life shit, like people who just like being indoors and gaming and liking their pets and only eating like junk food. I can't relate at all. Sorry.
I think it depends on how many otome anime you watch, to be honest, because it does sound very typical of that type of anime, like an otome kind of vibe or otome game. It does have that.
Otome is
it's girl harem.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that's what otome is.
See, the thing is, I've seen a few of them. I don't know them. I don't remember all of their names or whatever. But the ones
have you seen Fruit Basket?
I have seen Fruit Basket.
That's girl otome, and it's very similar to this, with a different swing. Obviously, it's a different story.
But the thing is, because we're talking about like stereotypical and stuff, and for example, right? I don't think
stereotypical doesn't necessarily mean bad, you know. It just means that you'd expect it from this type of anime, which people who like this type of anime like it for a reason, you know. It's like, for example, you like a gory anime and you're expecting to see gore. You know, you're expecting to see a face rip-off or something. And if you don't see a face rip-off, then you're going to be like, well, this is not a good gory anime. It's not gory enough, you know. Maybe if you see they rip off a face and jelly beans fall out, you'll be like, this isn't good enough. It should be blood, you know. So I think that's probably where Mr. V's going with it. Is like, it's if you've seen, but then in the same way, like if you've seen an oversaturation of something to a certain extent, you can become a bit numb to, yeah, exactly. So you get to the point where you're like, I don't need to see it. I've seen like 5 or 6 of this. It's like for me and the typical romantic anime, a romantic comedy anime. I know where it's going for the most part. So I don't essentially go in expecting anything different than what I'm looking for, which is I expect that the characters are gonna have these moments. I expect the show to proceed in a specific way and stuff like that, and they do essentially do that, and I like that about the romantic anime that I watch. And as I say, for me, this show could have gone higher for me had they introduced the other male characters in a better way. I honestly just felt like the male, like that's my biggest critique is the introduction for most of the rest of the cast.
I think the Prince character was just straight up. I hate to say it. I hated his. I don't want to hate the voice actor for the voice because he
does have an annoying voice.
Yeah, his voice really didn't do it for me. And
same. Straight up.
Also, my missus didn't watch all of it. I don't know if I pointed that out.
You didn't point that out.
She didn't. Okay, yes, She didn't finish that. Actually, we didn't actually watch the whole anime together. I've completely missed that point. Just touching on that. She wants to finish it though, so it seems very interesting. I might have to rewatch those last like 6 episodes, whatever she has issues on.
You should. You should. I may rewatch the anime as well because, as I said, like I was watching it and laying down. And because I wasn't feeling well, I was kind of like dipping in and out. So there are some scenes that I fully didn't process in the right way, and that's why I say like this is my view, and if you disagree, it's perfectly fine. I'm basing my opinion based on I've seen most of it, a majority of the show I've experienced. But I do understand that there could potentially be aspects of it that I didn't fully appreciate in the way it was intended to be appreciated. The one thing I can say I have seen is the introduction for the characters, and I know which character. I know how they were introduced. I don't like how I think they could have done a better job with the introductions for all of these other characters.
100%. Yeah.
So that's where I kind of stand on it. It's just about the introductions. Other than that, I do like the rest of the aspects of the show, and I think it's a good anime. That's why I give it a 6, which I don't know why people think 6 is a bad rating, because 6 is above 5 and 5 is average. So it's above average. That's not bad, I don't know.
For me, it's like 6 sounds like I don't know. For me, I treat 6 like maybe it's a 4, but.
And I think that's why rating systems are so weird, like for me, if I think a show is meh, it is. A meh show is like a 4 for me. Like that's it's not good. It's like it's alright, right? Because it's definitely not good.
I think my rating is like one more than you. Like your 4 is my 5, kind of. Because
the way I look at it is like, for example, right? If you, for example, have something like let's say, for example, you want to have a drink and you want to say, oh, you can have all the drink, you can have some of the drink, you can have, and if you have half the drink, that's half the drink. It's not. You can't say, well, I've had an alright amount of drink. No, you had half the drink, bitch. Like you drank half of it, right? So the show, if it's half of it, like it's halfway good, because this is a scale on goodness of the show. If it's halfway on that scale of goodness, then it's good. It's if it's gonna be great or something, then it has to be above that. If it's above average, then above average being 6 would be like. It's better than the average. Like the average would be every other show. It's all right. You can watch it, but above that would be above average essentially, which would be 6 essentially. So I just do it from a simple mathematical perspective of numbers. 5 is in the middle of the two, so it's middle of the road, and 6 is above middle, so it's above average. So simple as that.
All right, no, that's. Hey, look, I'm all about like I think your points are fair. Like your pointing system probably is more fair than even mine. Maybe I just like I know people just again like you said, people just take 6 as a bad thing. I think like when it starts being bad, it's like it feels like 7 and 8, but maybe that devalues 7 and 8,
I think to an extent 7.
Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. I'm sorry. I'm a dad, and these jokes are coming in hard.
That's not true. That's just because you're weird. No, we'll go.
No. I did that. Like I think I got 3 or 4 dad jokes. Like today, I did like already. It's my second one or third one. So something is going on. I'm still a virgin though, by the way. Why does my Discord need to update again? I just updated the fucking thing. Anyways, I wanted to say another thing with the stalker girl. I know I'm ranting on her. How she found out where he was and who he was with, the whole social media thing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wrote that down, and I actually wrote that as one of my last notes, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to talk about this chick too much, but she's very interesting for me." I think that was like that's such a real life thing, and I also wrote down that again we have the whole, and I'm gonna bring this up because these are like I guess my final few notes. It's the whole parents thing. The parents actually lead in this show, and I feel like we brought it up in previous episodes. Go check those episodes out again. I'm sorry I'm ranting about this, but go check those fucking episodes out. Make sure you watch the anime before, preferably, because we do spoil. And in each anime, and if you guys have been here before, you guys will know that I find it very weird that parents just aren't existing in anime, or they're very like side character, back character. And in this show, the meme for me now is where the parents, Riri sent them off, for love interest reasons. So that's literally the whole that Riri is like existing in our universe, but it's like a real person instead of like an actual wizard. And then in their universe, he's just like removing all the characters because main love interest reasons, like the whole like ninja arc and shit. Like in Naruto, it's just like because he needs to get with the waifu and then some shit. It's like extremist Riri, just like need to start a genesis and then again, touching on the previous anime we watched, that other slice of life, which I thought was good.
Better
I do
than
think
this
show was actually. I think the show was better. The movie, sorry, I should say, because that was our first slice of our first slice of life and our first movie.
On the podcast because I've been watching this shit for like
yeah. Oh, for the podcast, yeah. Thank you for.
Just confirm that,
Yes, confirming, yes, and kind of confirm myself it's true. I could have also missed an episode, no. But I love the modernness. I don't know if that's because I'm a fucking boomer, but every time I watch anime, I always see them doing old shit. They always take out an old fucking flip phone. They don't have, like they might text and stuff, which is 90s, okay, sure, but like, just. Where are you at? Using a location, using social media, and they went to go get boba tea, Riri and freaking thing on there, like simulating the dating.
You just like it because you like boba tea, like please, like
I am a sucker for boba tea, and I'm surprised you haven't tried it yet. And I would admit, it looks like rabbit poop, but
it does look like rabbit poop.
It does feel like frog eggs, if you ever seen frog eggs.
And that does not make it even. It makes it worse for me. Like,
but the thing is, when you do suck on some boba, the thing is, I'm a boba tea, right? Let me tell you the beauty of it.
You've done this before. We've done this before. Get on to the point.
Flavors.
I don't want it.
Flavors.
And you know what's the thing, right? I know a place in town that sells it. I'm not going.
Go have some. I can't be your friend. You can't be best friend with the husband. I mean, the best friend of dreams and. And we need to have some common ground here. Okay, look, if I ever come to England, I'm getting you boba tea and you can't say no. How about that?
I've been to that place. I've bought stuff there. I just not bought boba tea.
So would you do it if I came with you one day? If I ever came to England?
If I would drink boba tea, because you're there. Yeah, I'd drink a boba tea if you're there.
Okay, you're getting some best friend points right now. You're about like on a 60% or somewhere.
So above average.
Slightly above average, but yeah, I think social media stuff modern stuff in the show was really good. I think the social media stuff was really good, and I want to go back on the cheating character again. I think
you really like that character a lot. You brought him up.
No. I don't actually like him that much. I think he's actually very terrible as a person. He's a terrible person. And I like his design. Like I like how his character looks. Like he looks like he has like the water symbol in Pokemon, but with a fiery red shirt. So it's kind of cool. He looks like a character that I would draw if I animated like a main character. He looks like he has like the drawing of a main character syndrome, but he has like piercings and he's kind of unique looking as a character. He sticks out lots. He's also a cunt towards Anzu, which is probably what I would have done. Okay, I wouldn't have done it because I liked her. I would have done it because I just didn't like girls when I was younger. I didn't like girls because they were like marshmallows compared to us manly Chad boys with our bulging.
You by yourself with that
chins.
one. Like I literally used to hang out with more girls than blokes, but go on.
I used to as well, but the thing is, I couldn't play rough with them, and they were just cringe because of that.
No, my female friends were rough. Like especially when the younger they were. Like it's only after I got a bit older and you started going to second. Because remember before girls had tits, you know, when they were just all flat chested like blokes. Like my female friends were tough, man. I remember I had this female friend. Her name was Miss Sharmas.
Oh yeah,
and she was tough. Like Sharmas was tough. I mean, once she got older and had tits and stuff like that, she was no longer tough, a tough girl, but. She's tougher than probably average girls, but she was no longer what you would rough and tumble with to a certain extent. But when we were kids.
She stopped being a tomboy, right? She used to be a tomboy.
I'm not sure if she stopped being a tomboy per se. Like, because I always, like, for me, I always consider her to be tough. Like, I was like, she's a tough girl. Like, if I got into a fight with other girls, I would want her with me, kind of thing, because I don't hit girls. But that being said, she was no longer, like, I wouldn't picture, like, she had boobs, man. I was like thinking, no, you can't fight with a boob. You know, you're gonna hurt it. Like
we start beating someone.
Like I picture like with a bloke when you're fighting with a bloke or you're roughing with a bloke. Let's say for example you're playing football, right? You and your mates playing football. When I play football, sometimes you get rough. Sometimes you push a guy wrong. Sometimes you shove someone. You know, all these sort of things, right? It's a physical sport, right? You know, you can't do that with a girl. Like in my brain, you're not shoving. And like I played, and a good example of this, I went to play football with my brother the other day, right? We went and did a pickup game on Meetup, right? So we went on Meetup, the app, and we went to play a pickup game. And we were playing with these guys. There was this guy, he was so tough, big and strong, right? He's pushing everyone around and he's scoring goals. He's like Adama Traore, but even better in like Sunday League Adama Traore. You know, he's dribbling past us. He's taking all the shots.
No idea. Go on.
Google him. Right. Anyway, he's a Spanish player. Right. So essentially, we're playing with this guy, and he's great, and he's shoving us all around, and you know But it's fair game. We're all guys. No one's like crying or he's not worried about pushing us around essentially. And we're not worried about going back at him. So like, even though he's bigger and stronger than us, we're also trying to get into a tackle and challenge and against him and everyone else on the football field, because that's how you play bloody well football, right? I came up against a guy and he's coming in and I've got the ball against him. So I have to literally sort of like, what's the word for it? I had to like put my arm up to sort of like block him from getting towards the ball, you know? So my elbow is kind of like into his chest. Right? As he's trying to like get around me to get to the ball, essentially. Because that's how you play football. In the end, there's this girl who was there who was like, she's related to one of the blokes there. I don't know if that was her dad or her uncle or whatever the frack kind of relationship they have. But she was there the whole time we were playing football. And eventually, like, we were short players. And he was like, hey, she should join in, right? So he's like, come on, play. Mate, the whole game, every time she was on the ball, mate, you could just tell everyone was just giving her space. Like no one was willing to get close to this girl in the slightest.
I was fucking slide tackling that motherfucker,
bro. It was like literally everyone backed off of her because to the extent it was like you couldn't even if you did tackle her or you went in, you could see the sort of like you could see that.
Was she fucking petite? Was she like? Was she small and skinny and what?
She was smaller than us. But I would say like. It wasn't just because she was petite. She's a girl, you know. It's like to a certain extent.
I mean, like if you look, it matters because if my daughter goes on the football field, I ain't gonna fucking slide tackle a 2-year-old or a girl that has the body of like a freaking 13-year-old boy. Okay, I ain't looking to fucking.
She wasn't like
she's out here looking
Bravo.
like look. If she was out here looking like
what
Cardi B.
If she looks like Cardi B, you would tackle Cardi B.
Bro, I would slide tackle right into those cheeks, bro. I mean, I would slide tackle and fucking take that ball from her, bro. She's a grown ass woman, bro.
I'm sorry. No, I wouldn't. Like to me, that just seems so wrong. And you could just see how everyone the whole way we played the game changed, because even though like again people would try to tackle or take the ball from her, the way they did it was not the way they would do it with another bloke. It was like we would get physical with each other. You know, we would get in each other's face. You'd be sprinting full speed, not afraid to like smash into this other bloke because he's a bloke and you don't give a shit. The fact that it was a girl, it was like, nah, fam. Like we were all like, I remember there were points when she got the ball and I just like, yep, okay, let's let her run.
Look, I'm not saying I'm out here punching women, okay? I respect women, okay? Women, right? Firstly,
You just say woman.
I respect woman, okay? I'm not gonna slide like on every fucking woman but I am trying to say that I do treat women for the most part how I would treat a man, right?
Nah, I treat women how I would treat a man when it comes to like how okay, I'm not gonna like if I have a woman working for me, I wouldn't pay her less than another man, or I wouldn't talk to her in a different way than I speak to a man or something. But when it comes to like if we're doing something physical, yes, I am gonna do it different. I'm not gonna play football the same way I would play football with a man, with a woman, unless of course she's like the toughest woman on the planet. And she's like, she's a proper football player wearing a proper sports bra. Even then, I'd probably feel weird. Like, I'm not putting my elbow up because in my mind, I'm putting my elbow into a boob. Like, that's just no. I'm sorry. Like, I can't. Especially like sometimes you go torso to torso with a bloke on the football field. You know, you go really into it. Like you're both rubbing on each other and grabbing
that's hot.
Anyways,
let's move on from the football thing. Let's move on.
But the point we were trying to make was about the character. There's a difference. There's a difference in how you do it, and it's understandable.
I actually forgot where we were.
I forgot what we were talking about as well. So like, I just tried to pretend like I knew just a moment ago, and you should have just caught onto that and be like, yes, exactly, and let's move on.
Yeah, I really got your points. Yeah, you don't fucking shove your elbows into a woman's boob, and some women out there be like, yeah, that's like getting kicked in the balls. It's not
exactly.
Okay. It's fucking not okay. There's statistically proven that getting kicked in the balls is worse than death. Proven. Okay,
that's true. That is a fact.
They've asked dead people if it was worse. They said death was actually not bad. It was pretty terrifying, but it wasn't as bad as getting kicked into the balls.
They actually said that was 8 out of 10, and in the balls was like a 10 out of 10, like an 11 out of 10. They did say that. They did surveys.
Apparently, I don't want to start anything. Apparently, it's worse than childbirth as well.
Nah, I've left you on that one. The trainer's left on that one. I am not getting down that road. I've heard.
There was a statistic that said, is childbirth as bad as breaking, like, I think it was like a few bones?
I think I've seen that actual statistic. Like no kidding, I've seen something about that actually. Like, yeah, which is worse. So yeah, I've actually seen that. And a proper
kick in the balls was worse than getting like more like women said breaking their bones for one who like I don't know how many fucking people walking out here with like at least 20 bones broken, like, you know, but it depends what bone you're breaking. Like your pelvis, that's fucking painful as fuck. Like, I don't know. Have you broken
your pelvis?
No, I could imagine, you know, or your fucking like the bone that connects your thigh to your, you know, like the whole thigh, that bone, that thick ass bone, man, that motherfucker. Oh my god, I can't imagine, bro. The surgery and all the shit they have to do and fucking replace and make sure like the muscles stretch back, the bone digs into your flesh. Okay,
I thought this was a slice of life. Why are we talking about gore?
I'm sorry. Anyways, what note was I on? Fuck, I think I had.
Don't you have notes? You should. That should be the easiest. I'm the one who should be forgetting stuff. I don't have a note. I do have something I could talk about that it's not in a note, but I actually remembered. And one of the funniest tropes in this that I love the most, that really made me like the main character the most, is when she does that whole man face thing. Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Oh, when she gets really hard pan and she's like, oh yes, mucho. I was just cracking up. To me, that was like the funniest thing they could have done to her. Like,
would you date a girl that was like that though?
But she can't do it in real life though. She's not. She can't.
No, no. But you.
All women are like that. They do that kind of shit.
Not all women are like that. There are some really. I can't do without those girly girls. Like if you're so girly, that's that woman for me. Like you have to have some kind of grit. Like, or it wouldn't work because like. You know, like if I'm gonna get raunchy and you can't even meet me 50% on the raunch, like you're just like, no, I'm a girly girl. Yeah, that wouldn't work for me. Like you need to meet me some percentage of raunch for me to be like, yeah, you good. You good, girl. You go. So yeah, nah. Oh, for me, her ugly face was also hilarious, by the way.
I wouldn't call it ugly face. I call it her mucho face.
No. Not the mucho one. The one where she was forced to go out and all day. And even orange hair dude was like, why is your face like that? It's like, it's ugly. He fucking told, it's like she had like the full on like extra long like lip, like upper lip to nose ratio was like they like elongated it and they made her look like a granny almost kind of. She was just like she looked terrible. She's like, oh, this is my face. Like she had like resting bitch face all day. That's pretty much me. When people tell me, well, you look tired, I'm just like, yeah, okay, I look tired. Fuck off. Like, well, you look fucking. What do you look like, motherfucker? Like every time that someone quotes me on my face, I'm just like, shut your fucking whore mouth. Honestly, like that's literally what I think.
You are way too defensive. Like for me, I'm just like, I guess I am looking a bit busted today. I gotta put some.
No, it's not even okay. Maybe it's defensive, but
you are defensive.
All I'm gonna say is, shut your whore mouth.
It's like today. Like I went to the supermarket and I was picking up some wine and the person at the till asked me, like, you know, they shopped, everyone else picked up their stuff. Usually you see all these ladies and stuff coming in and buying their wine and, you know, just paying and leaving. And all of a sudden, there I am at the till, full beard face and all. I haven't shaved in like a minute, you know, and I'm buying my wine. And what does the guy say to me? Do you have ID for this? Like, I'm like, what?
Wait, what did he say?
Do you have ID for this? Like,
bruh.
I was like, mate.
But wait, that's not a fucking, that's like a compliment. I've had one person ask me that my entire life.
Oh no, I was actually saying that is a compliment. I was just saying that just to flex. Sorry, you were saying something?
Oh, I thought you were talking something negative, you fucking asshole. Bro.
I just wanted to flex. That's it, you know. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
You know, long ass backstory about shaving face and walking to the town and people buying their alcohol. you do look young, you know.
Oh, I get ID'd all the time, to be honest. I'm just messing. It's worse when I shave. Like when I do shave, I usually when I don't shave, it happens less in certain places that I frequent. But if it's somewhere I don't frequent, then I'm probably gonna get ID'd. So yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's just a fact. Which is why I had my wallet on me, because I knew I was picking up wine. So I was like, I need to carry my wallet because on the highly likely chance that whoever it is at the till asks me for ID, I need to have my ID because I ain't gonna go back for it. So that's just how it is.
That's
unfortunate.
That's crazy.
So,
anyways,
anything else?
There was something else that I really wanted to talk about, but it's not on the top of my head anymore, and I did not write it down. Just the I don't know, the whole anime for me was great. The points you mentioned were great. The reasons why it wasn't that great, I should say. And yeah, I look forward to another episode or another season. I mean,
of this.
Oh no, well yeah, of our podcast as well, but also of this anime. Yeah.
I was talking about the anime. I didn't know about the podcast. I think we end at 12 episodes and make it a season and call that. Never do this again.
You don't remember the ending of the anime though, like the ending song, like the.
I don't remember anime songs. I skipped that shit.
Oh fuck. I was thinking though. I actually want to ask this for people in post. If you guys watch this anime, Romantic Killer, and you've seen if you've seen any of the episodes, mostly the like episode 2, 3, and whatever else, the ending where Riri talks, let me know if you guys think that's a good like outro kind of thing. Not that it's gonna be taken
for us.
If not for us, for myself. Like, do you guys think that's a great outro? Because I'm very curious. Because for me, that's something that's stuck really hard. Like, I usually skip stuff, and I'm just like, okay, yeah.
It's because you like Riri that much, you little wanky poo.
Bro, look, I'm doing No Not November.
No wonder, no wonder you mentioned that twice. You really do No Not November, like you really participate in that shit.
Yeah. I'm ready for the memes though, not because of like some weird like.
When you
fight against.
When you say you're doing it for the memes, like you're saying you're doing it, but not actually doing it, or you're legit doing it
for the memes, as in I'm doing it legitly, but yeah.
So your missus comes in wearing the finest lingerie, right? she's wearing the finest lingerie. She's got a leather belt or whatever, a whip. You know, she's all in dominatrix mode. She's like, let's do whatever he wants to do. Yes, November is the month. You're telling me you're gonna be like, sorry, babe, I'm on this no not November thing for like the memes. Like,
I'm like, who? Yeah, I would. I'm not even capping. That
You're
shit.
serious. She does.
Yeah.
She's about to do the most. Let's just even make it spicier. She's coming in
Bro,
the
stop
bedroom
putting me in
with
these
help.
nasty-
She's coming in with help. She's brought someone super fine, right? And she's like, baby, I know this is a fantasy of all men's. I got this for you. I've been thinking about this.
You know what I was saying yesterday is if she came in with a computer of her own and she said, "Time to play video together." Now,
Okay. She comes in all of that, and she's got a laptop, a powerful laptop, and she's already made a video. She's already made a video character, and she's like, baby, and she licks the video screen and everything. Look at my character. You're telling me you're gonna be like, nah, no, not November.
Look, I know that will never happen, so I'm gonna say yes. Then I would do it. But because it's never gonna happen, it won't happen.
Yo, I'm gonna make your missus a video account, and I'm gonna call her up. We're gonna plan this together. We're gonna plot this.
Fucking computer as well, right? Yeah,
exactly. We're gonna plot this together. I've got a motherboard here. I've just got to get the graphics card and processor. We'll put it together. And then we're gonna make it happen just to make you feel your no not November thing, like for no other reason than just to fuck with you. So like, yes, definitely.
Honestly, I'm not even sure if I would do it. I could just say like, oh, look, you had your chance.
No, you're not. You're gonna be like, baby, say it ain't so. Video.
No, actually, I don't think, bro. Actually, no, I don't think. The thing is, I would be like, yeah, we can play video, but we ain't doing it till after November.
Nah. She tell you straight up. It's either we do it now or I never play video ever, right?
Okay, if you would have like that, then actually I'm like,
you have to.
I think I'll pass. No, I think I'll actually pass.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You're a liar.
You can. I have no reason to lie.
You know that's the sexiest thing she could do is play video. You're like, what? Video, like she's coming in, nice music, bow chicka wow wow, and you're like,
honestly,
not attracted.
It's so easy for me to say no because I can never see that happening. Never will happen.
She comes in frizzy face.
Even the first scenario. So look, it's all good.
You can't see happening because video is a shit game and your missus likes good games. So I understand.
No, she just doesn't like gaming in general.
Yeah, you see, I could make your missus like games, but you'd owe me a really big one. Yeah,
bro.
I could genuinely make her like games.
I would look. If you did that, if you got her to do that, I would fap today. So or bro.
Oh my god!
If you could turn her into an actual game enjoyer, then yes.
Oh my God.
I would fail no November and do it next year. Simple. Boom.
Straight up said, I'm a fap today. When you say a game enjoyer, does it have to be video or could it be any game?
Bro, okay, not fucking Facebook games.
No, not that. I don't count those games. Not mobile.
At least some multiplayer game. Like
why does it have to be?
At least.
Okay, so like Mario Kart counts.
Look, I say
I asked you a question. Enjoy, Mario Kart counts.
Listen, would she never play Mario Karts? She might play Mario Kart once or twice. Would you catch her buying a Wii and then me coming home and being like, "Hey, what's up? Oh, I'm just playing Mario Kart. You want to join?" Never will happen, bro. You can't converse her, bro. She's like like me and RPGs, bro. You can't convert me back to an RPG enjoyer or Pokemon. I mean, actually, no, I might play Pokemon. That's a lie. So, and Pokemon is RPG, but. Take for example like me. I'm hardline MMOs, right? But is there a chance I would play an MMO under certain circumstances that I will not tell you about? Yes, there's a good chance. Of course.
But I will not tell you these circumstances because then you'll use it against me. But the fact of the matter is...
I'll feel no November for that information. This is the kind of shit we talk about off stream.
This is literally the kind of shit we talk about when we're not podcasting. So we should probably stop podcasting.
By the way, I need to just say this about Q. Chad, for those of you who don't know, Q doesn't know what I'm going to say for men, mostly for men. Mo knows what it is as well. Before you're about to,
you sure we got to say this on the podcast? You sure you want to say this on the podcast?
No, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it, not the whole thing. I'm just going to say the part that I... Q doesn't know what the mic check is. Okay. If you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say. You know.
Okay.
If you know, you know. Mic check.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
No, like mic check.
I think we have a problem here. I know what mic check you're talking about. No.
You do? You knew it the whole time?
Pardon?
You knew the whole time?
If I knew the whole time about what?
What we were talking about before.
What were we talking about before?
Mic check.
That's what I just said. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I know what mic check 1 2 1 2 is.
Yeah. But the mic check. Anyways, for those listening in post, and you want to see this video on YouTube, go check out Simply Otaku on YouTube, or go to Simply Binge, or at LP Guardian, or you can follow me at Rare Entry with 3s instead of E's.
You forget it. The LP Guardian thought of you know, because some people will type Guardian, and that's not how you spell it. It's Gardian. Guardian thought of you. You know, you gotta specify. In the same way, can't just say Rare Entry. Gotta be Rare Entry. Replace the E's with 3s, right? You try to do the outro and you don't do it properly. See, shameful display.
Yes, a shameful display. We forgot to thank you. You actually we almost did an episode without it. Guys, if you guys can catch the memes, if you guys like this content, you know, and if you guys know what the mic check is, please leave a comment there. Make sure you guys helps us a ton. We enjoy having you guys here. We enjoy reading comments, and we enjoy watching anime with you guys and talking about them. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Q, want to wrap it up?
Yeah, but that's about it. You guys have been great. I have been better. Ray has been him, and you know.
You're not great. You're sick.
I am sick. But you know what? I am sick, but I did turn up for the podcast, and I should be. I believe that counts for something. Yeah, that counts for something. So with that, guys, thank you very much for showing up. Tsukasa won the poll, of course, because he's best guy, and all the rest of the characters suck because I'm right and la di da. So Junta didn't even get a vote in his face. Oh. Yes. So. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, which will be on Sunday. Would be the next episode. I can't say what we're gonna watch next. We'll probably have to discuss it after the podcast episode is finished, after we get off air. But yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.